Yo! Video games.
What we here are to do today is to be the end of all things. The Switch top 10 nearly ended our entire friendship. It nearly ended our relationship with the internet.
Nice.
I have gotten into approximately 4.5 fistfights with people in public about the Breath of the Wild situation. Thank you, Kenny. That being said, we are here today to discuss something that will bring us together and then tear us apart at the same time, the top 10 video game consoles of all time.
Nice.
We will begin now. Number 1, the Neo Geo. All right.
Neo Geo.
Let's start debating. Well, let Steve go first because he had a death-defying experience
Oh,
today.
God.
Please go first, uncontested.
You can add,
Uncontested.
you can add portables. But portables can't be because they can be hacked.
Right, hacking. Hacking of a system.
Some
is
rules
not,
doesn't fall.
Some rules.
Yeah.
We're focusing the most on the system at the time, not now. Like we can't look back at a game.
Yeah,
where
this is not like how good is the system to buy.
The systems of the time.
Yes, the system when they were at the time, like what it did for you in 1994.
During the time the console was alive.
When it was alive. Also, the library of games, what it had on it at that time, also mad important. You know.
Yeah.
We're not talking about controllers. We're going to keep that out of it.
Interesting.
Because some systems got evolved different controllers over time that got better. So do we judge them at the beginning or at the end? That seems kind of unfair. So let's just judge the system based on what the system can do, what it was offering, the games, and other things that could manipulate the conversation in some ways to make things better or worse. That in some console situations, the console got worse over time. Things that was offered at the beginning were not offered by the end.
So we are taking that into account.
We're taking that specific thing into account. We're not taking, we're not broadening it because there's too many fucking variables.
Yeah.
We're taking the fact that, a system at the beginning of its life was offering something. At the end of its life was offering probably a pretty similar thing for 99% consoles.
Yeah.
But in some situations, bro, we know what you got at the beginning might not have been what you got at the end.
Significantly less.
Yeah, maybe significally less at times, maybe more.
PS3.
Maybe more.
Just say PS3 fat.
Yeah, I'm specifically talking about the PlayStation 3.
Right.
This is a PS3 thing that we got to talk about.
But you can't really claim that for the fat system itself. You can only claim that for
they're saying PlayStation 3. So, and because of that, somebody's experience of what the PS3 is different than the fat experience. That is not,
or even just later fat, because they only had the 20 and 60 full backwards compatible model for a couple months.
Right. So
then they immediately changed it.
So we could say
fat could be the best system.
That's what I'm saying. Is that we could say PlayStation 3 fat and PlayStation 3 slim.
And
so
that's
we can
what we have to. We are not separating the system.
You're not separating.
We're not saying PS4 and PS4 Pro. We're not doing that shit.
I don't know.
We're not saying Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X.
I feel like
it's to make a decision.
I feel like that's a different system, though.
That's the problem. There's only one system that is like that.
Yeah.
It's just the PS3, dude.
I mean, I would say, Xbox and Xbox Series X and Series XS and stuff like that. Those are very different consoles, dude. So they definitely have
the X are just
so you can't really lump those two together.
They are.
You have to separate
it's lucky that those definitely are making into our top 10 to argue.
Right, but I'm just saying stuff like that. So
the S and the X is they all play the same game.
There's an interesting conversation.
Just that, one is way better.
There's an interesting conversation to be had about the PS3 because you literally can't play as many games by the end.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I'm saying it has to be separated.
And what it also is truly one of the most functional systems. Actually the best system of all time by comparison of true functionality, but that is only to a small subsect of people that could afford it now, much less could have afforded it then or even had it available. It's a small chunk.
Yeah, you had to be in this window of
You had to be in this small ass few months window before they took it all away.
I don't like the rule. Let's make an exception for the PlayStation 3.
PS3 fat.
Let's make an exception for the PlayStation 3.
Honestly,
Everything else, I think that rule applies.
Because
that isn't fair to the system.
We count the PS3 fat is probably the best.
Well, I think it is fair to the system because that is the product Sony fucking sold. That's the bed they made. Where they're like, we have this.
The price didn't go down for a slim?
I mean, eventually it went down.
I'm saying the price didn't go down even though they took stuff away. It stayed the same.
Well, you said eventually they did, though.
Every slim lowers in price over time. I'm saying this was within a few fucking months, dude. This was within the first year.
The slim came out within the few.
Not the slim.
The PS3 fat offering the fact that you can play full PS2, full PS1 games.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
That functionality goes away within less than a year. It's gone. They added an emulation thing where it's sort of compatible.
They tried.
With some PS2 games because we spent too much money doing this. We need to make more money.
Also, which one's your 60 gig here, Max?
That's probably right there.
I mean, I don't. No, chat can't.
If it has all the USBs and shit.
Right. So this one does. So
It's the one with all the USB I/O.
Oh, you just turned it on.
I turned one on. Oops.
All right.
There's this flap here, right?
The SD card flaps and all that shit.
Right.
Yeah. There's like there's
all
so
these
much
memory-
I/O. It's
there's
crazy.
These memory card sticks. There's 4 USBs in the front.
Yeah. It's incredible.
There's only 2 USBs in the front.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah. So they had like different versions and shit.
And this doesn't open because there's nothing here now.
Yeah.
So all of these ports in here, there's like 3 or 4 different types of memory card.
It's
inputs.
incredible.
It's gone in this version. This is still a FAT.
Right.
It's gone.
So you're saying that there's different versions of the FAT?
Yes.
and
Yes.
stuff.
There's literally 2 different versions of the PS3.
And
FAT.
so when I say, PlayStation FAT, obviously I'm
you
talking
mean the
about
fully
the
featured,
big boy,
the $600,
the George Foreman grill, you know? So,
$599.
Yeah. So
The ultimate point is that like that system in a tiny window of time, there was a version, a model of a PlayStation 3 that had this features, and then for the majority of its life did not.
okay, so then
So we're gonna that's going to be a part of where we would place it, where we would rank it.
right.
It's
That's
the
all part
overall
of the whole
compass.
PS3. So, with that being said, just in a hypothetical, that could launch the PS3 straight up to like top
Launch
3.
PS3, yeah. Okay.
Like straight up to
100%,
top
yes.
3. But do you consider just that unique experience of that system being that way the entirety of the PS3?
Here's the thing,
or does it move it down a little bit maybe because
of that, right.
Here's the
I
thing,
get
that's
you.
kind of fair because it's such a limited thing, and those things became hard to find, and it's just like
It's like arguing the PS4 Pro was way better.
Yeah. I mean, I still got mine. I'm pretty sure if I fired it up, it'll work. So
Your PS3?
Yes, my
I mean,
fat-
of course.
yes.
We have it because we know.
yeah. I still got my fat PS3,
We
man.
have it because we know it's like one of the best fucking systems ever.
Yep.
Like, and I've argued this forever. So anyway, let's first
All right.
write something down.
All right, so so it has to be on the side.
Yeah. We're not going to have nearly as many nominations.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out. This is not going to be
I
as
can write fat now.
as exhaustive. Yeah, write real fucking big. Like
Yeah,
write
yeah.
some not too heavy. Be gentle.
Yeah.
Don't
Firm but
imprint it in
gentle.
there.
Okay, gotcha.
If you write into the board, it will not come out.
too.
Okay.
Damn, that system sucks.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let me just assume a stance. This is the stance I have when I'm playing PSO.
Get him.
What's that like moment in the raid
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
where they're like?
Or you
Well, they gotta get the feet. You gotta go.
No, here's what you do.
like
You do.
shimmy.
Yeah.
What's the stance called, Chad, in Shenmue? Horse stance.
Oh,
Or
God.
Horse stance.
Horse.
You do this, and you do this. Come on, boys. Come on. Knees,
So yeah, you gotta get it.
knees all the way.
all the way down, baby.
All the way.
Come on.
All the way. Keep going.
All the way.
Horse stance. Legit horse stance. And you stay there for 60 seconds.
That
Horse.
feels like sumo.
It is.
Yeah, it feels like sumo. Yeah, I like
This
that.
shirt is so big on me, I look like a pregnant woman trying to exercise.
Damn.
All right. The Martin Luther Dreamcast.
Nice. Who's up?
I have a Dreamcast.
Okay.
Oh, the Nintendo. Yeah, I guess that was okay. I guess. The
Nice.
Super Nintendo. Never heard of it.
There
Yeah?
you go. There you go.
The
Okay.
Nintendo. What happened to the 63 before it?
Oh yeah. I always called it the Ultra 64. That's what I always wanted to call it, but
I have
they
a
stopped doing that.
bold. I have a bold claim.
Ooh, here we go.
Yeah.
The P54? Oh man, I know about the P54. Oh man, the P54
Not
chat.
the P54.
I love it.
Satan.
Head for Saturn. Head for Saturn. Go there.
What's up here? I'm like Satan.
no.
Oh really?
Jesus.
PS1? I guess so. I guess so.
It's bringing the rivals, you already know.
Okay.
All right.
Where's he going with this?
Oh
yeah!
yeah! There you go, a little dash in
oh.
there. Yeah! Oh yeah!
You got it.
Yeah! America! America.
Xbox 360.
Xbox 360.
Hell yeah, my dude.
Can we acknowledge that the 360 was kind of a dumb name?
Oh, absolutely.
I never liked it.
But
liked
also brilliant. It was
good for the
stupid
time.
when you hear it.
I think
like
it was
the
stupid.
Wii.
Yes, exactly. Terrible fucking name. But
think it was good
somebody
for the time.
cooked, right? Somebody, because it's eventually, what do you do with the 360? You just back where you were before.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah,
It
'cause
makes
they're
no
like-
sense when
'cause
you think
they're
about
like,
it.
we don't want to call it the Xbox 2 because it'll make people think it's inferior to the PS3. I'm
Exactly,
like,
but
oh my
but
god,
my dude, everybody I'll see you on 360.
Yeah,
Like saying I'm see you on 360 or like maybe on Xbox. Or,
Yeah.
If you the thing is, this was known as either a 360 or just an Xbox.
Yeah.
Because the original Xbox was gone.
yeah, it only had a 4-year run. So.
It was gone, dude. So nobody gave a shit about OG Xbox. It was your Xbox was the Xbox 360. This shit was fucking huge, dude. Everybody had to have an Xbox.
Dude, how long did the
360.
Xbox last, dude? Like, I
Like
felt
4
it was
years.
The
yeah,
first
4 years?
one?
Yeah.
360.
Not that many games.
Jeez.
God of War, Gears of
years.
War.
4 years
man.
for
Gears
Xbox
of
or
War.
OG
Oh,
Xbox?
dude.
Xbox was 4 years, 2001 to
360.
2005
Yeah, that's crazy.
Bro, the 360 though.
or 6.
All right.
No, that was yeah.
Then is it? Do I have to put anything up here?
I was
I
last.
did. I put PS1.
I was last.
So
So who's after
then
me?
it goes.
Kenny, make one.
I did. I put PS1.
Oh.
When he put Xbox. Yeah.
Then Max. This Max's turn. I got put over there.
do I have anything else? I'm
Put it over there.
down, bro.
Put it over there.
Are you fucking kidding me, man?
What do you mean?
There's plenty.
You got the Saturn. You got the NES.
Do I need to list consoles for you?
I mean, for me personally, I'm thinking of ones that I'm willing to champion and defend. And I don't know if I'm willing to. I already put the ones out there that I'm willing to put my toe.
Genesis.
Ooh.
Genesis, definitely not. I love it. But I'll be interested in being involved in that argument. I don't want to be the one to start that argument.
Or to defend it. You don't want to defend it.
I don't want to.
Now, usually portables are okay.
Do it, bro. Do it. Let's just do it.
Max is actually skipping his turn.
Oh, I was about to put that.
Max is actually skipping his turn. I think he's done. Yeah, you gotta start thinking, Max. What else you got?
Game Boy. Yeah.
Arguably the greatest system ever.
Crazy.
Game Boy, okay. I mean, yeah. The Game Boy is a boy that games.
All right.
Nintendo DS definitely has to be up here too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to be up here. I'm surprised nobody's putting up GameCube.
We all know the GameCube is great.
See, the way you feel about the GameCube is the way that I feel about some of those other systems, like the Genesis and shit. where
Right,
It's like,
the GameCube is great. But
But-
it's,
it's happening.
it would be lucky to crack top like
It's
bottom
happening.
5.
So start deep cutting, I'd say. Like Simmons, you like the Nomad or some shit, right?
That's just a Genesis though.
Well,
3DS.
You know.
Yes, 3DS, good.
I'm waiting for Steve's eventual diehard argument for the Virtual Boy.
Ah! Max, you gotta put in something, man. It's only me, Simmons, and Kenny right now, dude.
All right, I'm gonna put it here because this is absolutely arguably a great system. You just have to like get over some of your hangups there. Impact. The impact of the original Wii is absurd.
We need something from you, Max. Come on, man. We're still cooking.
I feel like I have my things that I'm passionate about, and I'm willing to discuss them, and they're up there. They're up there, bro. I'm not gonna put something up here that I'm not like willing to fight for.
I can make arguments for so much stuff here.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
not
it's
even-
crazy. This man hates consoles.
I agree. That should be up here. Absolutely. Absolutely should
Never
be a
heard of it.
conversation.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
You're fine. You know, Steve, I don't think you're not putting anything else up here, are you?
I
Okay. Sorry, then I jumped ahead of you.
am. I'm not putting that.
2600 is a slapper.
Let's at least acknowledge it for what it is, what it did.
All right, we talked
Willing to acknowledge its existence. This is true.
We talked about it enough. Let's just say we'll just put launch PS.
We talked about this.
But it still will apply to everything. But I just want to say launch PS3. But it still will apply to everything.
I mean,
Put
but
PS3, bro.
Yeah, he said we'll cross it out, but he just wants to acknowledge.
Right.
I just want to acknowledge it, right?
Well, we acknowledge it when we talk about it.
Okay, so that's
Just erase the launch part.
never.
Like, you're by you putting specifically launch PS3.
I want it to be ingrained in your mind while you're talking about it, even though you're still talking about the whole thing.
It directly brings up the argument. So you like being a rich piece of shit?
Yes.
So you really okay? So you come from a point of privilege then?
No.
All right.
Fine. Go ahead and take off the
PS3.
launch.
That's already going to be
The
something
discussion
that
will be part of it.
it's a part of it. I would not
So
focus.
just put
I would not
PS3.
focus that part
Put it
being
in
part of the
green, sure.
conversation.
PS3.
Because there's no space over there.
Let's just put PS3. Is DS not up here yet?
Yeah, it is.
No, 3DS is.
3DS.
3DS over DS?
Well, he put that.
If you should put it up there, Max. Put it up there.
Yeah, I would argue DS even over 3DS.
Put it up there.
That argument.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
the 3DS is fully backwards compatible.
Well, but that's unfair. Again, that's
It
the
is a
thing
little,
that we
yeah.
can't. It helps.
it's a feature of the 3DS.
It's a feature. It helps, but it isn't like the existence of backwards compatibility nullifies the DS, right?
Right, yeah. Too much stuff would, like, why would we have a PS1 up?
Why do we even have? Yeah, if the PS3, if we talking about PS3 backwards compat, then we just erase PS2 and PS1. You know.
All right, I'm gonna put it over here. I'm ashamed it's not here yet. It just has to be here.
GameCube? Genesis?
Yes. Genesis does. You can't do that on Nintendo.
That was my first system after an NES.
Oh, yeah.
The Genesis. I had it before a. I had it before.
Genesis
Super Nintendo.
does. Genesis does.
No
Genesis was way
GB.
cooler.
No,
Xbox?
no GB Advance for you guys?
Not me.
No.
Not me.
It's great.
It's great, but when it's top, like Game Boy just clears.
To me, that sort of like GBA is an in between like the Game Boy
And the
printing
DS.
money and the other money printing things.
Yeah, the DS.
You know?
Also had a short life. I mean, it's a great system, but like
So Nintendo.
so much of the GBA's market is a lot of just here's some Super NES games, put them on here.
Yeah.
So Nintendo had the 3DS, the DS, the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Color, and the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Game Boy.
Steve, you know
the Game Boy, which lasted a long fucking
like,
time.
Which one?
You know, like,
Game Boy.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course.
You're talking
long
about
time.
4 systems that lasted collectively like
Game
20
Boy-
plus, like 20 years.
Game Boy Color,
Right.
Game Boy Advance SP technically, but not really. It's the same game.
It's the same system.
It's the same system. So GBA, DS, 3DS, Switch.
Good lord.
Yeah. I'm not going to fight for it, but I put GameCube.
Okay, this is worthy talking about.
Yeah. I like the 4 ports, but if
Not
this,
putting PC on here.
We'll put PC right down here.
Yeah.
if it push comes to shove, chat, I'm not going to fight that hard for it, but it's a great system. I love the 4-player.
Yeah.
I love the, it was easy to carry.
Oh my god.
Why?
It was,
Why?
I was calling friends. Well, I didn't even own one. I watched a friend calling friends and playing games.
That's so it's your experience.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right then.
Any other last minute?
Good luck with that
Hey,
one.
that's a joke, man.
No.
You can,
Here's the thing.
No, top 10, Simmons.
You can legit put
Oh, there you go. Oh, he's flipping it now.
Here's the thing.
Top 10.
That has a special. That system
flipped
has
it
a
from all of
special
us.
place in my heart because I joined a tournament for the N-Gage and got
Yeah.
a free trip to San Francisco, like all expenses paid. Like 3-day trip. They paid for our food, everything. It was
yeah,
nice.
Well, yeah.
Whatever the fuck you spell it, right? Oh yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do we not have a Vita up here?
Vita.
Steve, you put PSP.
You put PSP.
Vita's a different system.
Yeah, I knew he was going to do that. He's like, if he control. Damn.
Oh, we need the sock, bro.
That left a bad taste in his mouth.
Where's the sock?
I did see.
You got it.
He was the first to ever do it. He was the first to ever do it. First rapper to make an actual console.
right.
First rapper to make a console. He was the first, chat. He was the first. Drake, don't ever talk about that, man. He was the first.
We need another board, Simmons.
it
We
was-
need another
Tell
board.
him.
It was the first crypto scam before crypto
That was the
scam.
first crypto scam. That's true.
That was the first crypto scam.
Hey, man, he's a pioneer. He's a pioneer.
I cannot endorse.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Why the humanity, Max? The humanity. What is he doing?
gonna close the
This
window.
is serious.
Unbelievable.
This was serious, guys. Come on.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Wait.
You're gonna have to answer the Soldier Boy. You're gonna have to answer the Soldier Boy.
Here,
bro.
I'm gonna write one after this. Ready?
Unbelievable. Wow, that was very
Here it is,
serious.
chat. The Stadia. The Stadia.
I don't even remember what that is.
It's Google's no system.
Because I was gonna say.
I thought-
The Stadia.
I legit
it's
thought
nothing.
the Stadia was the Ouya.
no.
What the fuck is Stadia?
Stadia is the
Stadia's
Google.
Google.
Is it a cloud system?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just a cloud.
What the fuck is an Ouya?
That's the
Ouya
little
is-
Android base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little cube.
Yeah.
It just runs like Android.
Did you like my joke, chat?
I got Stadia and Ouya mixed up in my head. I thought Ouya was the cloud-based gaming system.
No.
No, it's an Android based system.
Oh wait, here.
Ouya went to E3
Yeah, they did.
and they put their truck
Right
outside.
outside.
Yeah. And we're like, check it out, guys. We're better than the industry.
Check it out, guys.
That was really cool what they did. And where are they now?
Ouya and
I think it was a good idea. I don't know, like maybe it was just too ambitious or something. But a system that plays only
The cloud.
mobile games when you can just buy a phone. Feel kinda
all
like
right, here we go.
on.
We're gonna have to
Yeah,
delegate.
systems are here. 1, 2,
We're gonna have to start scratching these out. All hail the sock.
10,
All hail the
many
eraser
do we
sock.
Oh God.
Oh, sock.
20. We have
Take away the
20?
things we love.
That thing needs to get washed, bro.
No. Oh, sock.
Man.
Taketh away the things we love it. Make us argue with them to death. Be one all. God
right,
bless the Republic.
There are
Give-
20
give us some
consoles on
eyes.
here. I'm sorry, Turbo fans.
10's gotta go.
I'm sorry.
TurboGrafx 16.
No.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Turbo fans. It's not listed. Neither is Neo Geo Pocket Color, but
Oh yeah, Game Boy Pocket Color or Game Boy.
Neo Geo
GBA's on there, you dumb shits. No,
Damn.
it's not actually. You stupid, you observant
Boy.
shits. Not on there. No, we
Game
didn't
Boy.
talk about this. No
Game
GBA.
Boy.
You observant shits.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
It's fine.
I can't stand this. We got it. It's got to be here.
GBA?
Nah.
He wants his
Philips CDI.
Shut up. Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Oh, yeah, that's
okay.
worth talking about at least.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Can't stand it.
What about the Tiger handheld?
No.
No.
Yeah.
That's so
Game.com.
general, dude.
It was awesome.
It's so general.
It was
Like,
fucking
go
amazing.
Play it here.
Where is it?
Play a Tiger-
I'll play it right fucking now.
Here.
I think better be working, Max.
Get to the end.
Is it working?
Get to the end.
All right, let's knock some.
I don't think it actually. Nice game, Max.
Literally working.
Your batteries are going.
Literally working.
Is it though?
Yeah, look it. Select.
There's no.
Start.
There. Okay, that.
Literally working.
Now it's working. See, there's a character there. There was no character there. Oh shit!
Beat Virtual Fighter.
Oh, dude, I'm the best. Oh.
All right. Steve beats VF. Damn, he's game playing. He's television game playing.
Yeah.
We're going to delegate the top 10 out of here. We got to get this down to 10, where we can actually argue which 10 in order they are. Let's begin.
So we got to remove 11.
We have to remove 11.
I made it 21.
Okay.
I made it 21.
All right. So let's start going after some obvious ones. I guess I'll go first.
Oh, Steve.
I won.
Yeah.
I did it.
I won.
All right, well,
Put the first
let's
game.
say it goes Max cuts, then who? Kenny, then Steve, then me?
Sure. Somebody jump in. Somebody jump the fuck in.
Oh, you don't want to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
I'm going to say the Atari 2600.
Sure.
I put it up here for legacy purposes.
Yes, yeah.
There you go.
It's the first video game console.
Actual.
It lasted for like 15 years or something.
It was the definitive product. It was the definitive gaming console.
Yeah.
It was.
Like-
And we had our 2600 night.
Question.
Remember that?
Did Atari have competition?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Around that time frame?
ColecoVision.
ColecoVision.
And Television.
Forgot about that.
The Magnavox
Television.
Odyssey. The Magnavox Odyssey 2.
Magnavox Odyssey, I've heard of
The
that.
Magnavox Odyssey actually preceded the Atari 2600.
Really?
But it's barely a video game.
Atari
system.
was also like responsible for the demise of the industry eventually because
Yeah.
everything was crap.
Right, so
All the games were bad.
I just want to put that out there before it gets like slammed in at me. Yes, the Magnavox Odyssey is the first video game console.
Yeah.
Kind of. But like
The first one to
Question
actually
marks.
make it appealing.
Question marks.
like what you did on it is barely considered video.
What is it,
game.
like a stick, right? You a giant stick and you kind of.
No, you had these weird little like
Nubs.
they look like toasters with like nubs on the side.
What the fuck?
It's weird.
And you would put overlays on your TV. You would put like these flaps on your TV screen.
Holy
it's-
crap!
It was the
It's
equivalent
weird.
to those VHS games. Remember that? Where it's like you'd have a VHS game and you would be like, "Oh, what is this? Fast forward to this point to find the."
Bro, have
It
you
was
played
almost like
Vectrix?
that.
Have you played a working Vectrix? I have in Tokyo. It was great. Weird. I'm not putting that on here, but bro,
Vectrix.
don't just throw out Vectrix unless you've played it.
But yeah, it's worth talking about. It's Atari, bro. You know, none of us were born in the '70s, so there's no way it's gonna be up here.
We should just cross these out, not like erase them.
Yeah, race them.
All right, whatever.
It means we hate them.
Damn. We don't ever want to see them again.
All right, Kenny.
All right, no more
What should
Atari.
be cut, Kenny? Yeah, Odyssey had no scoring. Yeah.
I mean, we're going for easy ones, so
Erased.
DG Pocket.
Neo Geo Pocket.
Yeah, it's good.
People say, "Oh, ET the worst video game experience ever." I'm like, I don't know, dude. I could show you a couple Jaguar games that might be worse.
The
Good,
ET's
not
bad,
up
bro, but ET gets the bad rep. The problem is that what crashed the industry around that time frame was the fact that the system was mostly full of games that were like that were just like shoveled out super fast with some sort of like marketing attachment to it, and people were done. Like, people were done. So it took until like the NES to exist where people were like, oh, games could actually be like good? Oh, well, there you go, you know? Yeah, they were worse than fast food games, man. Like, it was 99% of the system was like practically garbage.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because it's like
It's crazy because at the time,
That's really well the Nintendo seal of approval.
Custard's Revenge.
at
and
the
shit like
at the
that.
time,
God.
you didn't have perspective of anything like actually good,
It's just cool because it's like,
and it was the
exists.
only one of its
Yeah,
kind.
it's like ET's
So-
shitty, but like like Max said, you got Customs Revenge. That's shitty and racist.
E.T. had
It's
gets-
doubly worse.
E.T. gets the historical nomination as being the worst game of all time, but the problem is that the system was full of shit like that. That one is labeled, but like the majority of the library was bad.
They were just churning out stuff because they knew they had the
Yes,
market.
it was
cornered.
the equivalent of where Kenny used to work at Mahalo, where they would just inundate YouTube with as many fucking videos as possible.
Yeah.
Everywhere, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
no matter what, if you were on the website, no matter what, you were getting a Mahalo video in the early 2010s.
I think the point of that was that they were trying to be a video version of Google, so that whatever question you asked, they
Yes,
had the
because
answer.
there was only so much video content available on the internet at the time.
Right.
So
Yeah,
They're
they were
flooding
trying
the
to be
market.
it, yeah.
they were just trying to fill every hole with
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, they're
Is
flooding
anyone
the
going to
market.
stand for Neo Geo Pocket?
Well, it's Simmons, and I understand because
Here's my defense of Neo
it's
Geo.
really good.
Here's my defense of Neo Geo Pocket. Okay, if you judge things on like say like a median or like on the average, there's no bad game on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Library is tiny.
That's a benefit to it because it has a small access
Small
point.
library, but its ratio of quality to crap games is probably the best of any video game system in the world on the Neo Geo Pocket.
In comparison, this is such a small system that like we worked at the store when it was launched, right?
Yeah.
And I think 2 people pre-ordered it. Like and then Simmons was one of the ones that eventually like got one too over time
I did.
when it got discounted because it got discounted really fast.
Yeah.
The market for this was pretty small, but it had the best fucking handheld fighting game I had ever played. Could not believe like a handheld fighting game could feel this good
It's
to play.
good, and on top of it,
Capcom vs SNK was incredible.
absolutely has the best portable thumbstick ever.
It was good. It was a comfortable system.
For yeah, like one of the best thumbsticks ever.
Yeah, like
Straight
SVC and like a ton of like KOF games. Like it legit, they made those games work on that system in a way that
Yeah.
handheld fighting games sucked. Like they
Yeah.
were bad, dude. You don't want versions of Game Boy Street Fighter and KI. This is rough, bro.
Yeah, it is all killer, no filler.
Yeah.
There you go.
But you know, we understand that it's being taken off.
I guess. I feel like it should have hung around a little longer.
Well, what's it? Wait, we should put that up there over the Wii,
No.
over the DS, over the GameCube.
Yes, over the game.
Really?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Again, the biggest argument for it is that the library is immaculate.
But it's also a negative.
But it's also the library.
because there's like 40 games.
Yeah, like the library is that small, so it's like, well, the library's great. Yeah, well, when you can count them, when your 4-year-old daughter can count as high as
You
how
can-
many games
you
are on
can literally label every game right now in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, so
All right. Who's
Yeah,
next?
you can do it.
Steven, what do you want to hit?
You guys were just talking about it. GameCube.
Okay.
Not that bad boy.
Yeah,
Not bad boy.
I mean, there's some all-time.
Damn, you picked my game. Damn.
that one. You guys mentioned it, so I was like,
Damn.
I just realized, you know what? That was not a good system.
Damn.
Look, man, there's some
Okay.
all-time greats on the game.
Legit is.
All-time.
I'm seeing a lot of Nas.
But
I'm seeing a lot of Nas. Chat.
Thank you, Nah.
Can you defend GameCube, chat? Really? Over Saturn?
best version of Soul Calibur at the time, the best version of RE4.
F-Zero,
and
Smash
the first
Brothers.
version, F-Zero, Melee, which outlived. Melee is a game professionally that outlived every game on PS2 and original Xbox.
Smash.
Melee? Oh, yeah, but that's
That game outlived
one game.
That game, well, sure, you can't name one game that outlived it competitively on the other systems. That game, which is
One game-
still
one-
exclusive to the system,
One game doesn't
never
make a
got put
system.
anywhere else, outlived the entirety of of every other game. So
One game doesn't make a system, though.
tell it to Xbox.
Damn. Yeah, but it was on PlayStation, so
The best here.
well, I
here
mean,
because
I
it was
enjoyed it on PlayStation,
But
so
it played better here.
did it though?
Yes.
I wouldn't know.
It played better.
I wouldn't know because I was having too much fun playing it on the other
yeah,
system.
and you didn't need a dumb
You
multi-tap.
didn't need a multi-tap. Multi-tap for the PlayStation had the multi-tap and you had to set it up.
That's
Any
fine.
of the 4-player
Wasn't the
games
end
at
of
the
the road.
time were benefited by the fact that GameCube just came with 4 players.
GameCube also had the greatest online game of all time.
It had a handle!
So are we keeping it or?
You know what? I vote to stay GameCube.
I vote to stay. I
Wow.
voted stays for a little bit longer, at least.
Wow.
I'm willing to be like,
I vote to stay GameCube for now.
That's crazy.
Kenny, how do you feel? What is your personal deep feelings? Does that neutral out or does it not?
It should stay a little longer, but it's gonna get
It's gonna get shot.
gonna
It
get
might.
cut.
It might. But I'm just saying, I think it's too early.
It's gonna get shot.
We're saved for now. All right, so I got
guess.
to cut.
Okay. Oh no. Why do words? I like GameCube over N64. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, that's fair.
I like.
I was eyeballing it.
Yeah.
You know what? Apologies. Sorry. Not really.
Cut.
Vita, which I put on there. But
Vita? It means
Vita.
life, Simmons.
Vita means life.
You're trying to kill life?
A great system for indies.
Fucking.
A great system for some of his exclusives.
A great system.
It was supposed to be my turn still because I didn't get one, so I was supposed
you
to go
failed.
again. When you fail, you're supposed to go again. You're supposed to look kind of.
Wait, sometimes today, no.
Is it today? Yeah. Okay.
I forgot that rule.
Yeah, exactly.
Today we won't do
I was
that.
gonna pick. I was gonna pick the Vita anyways.
All right. Well,
All right, fuck the Vita!
God damn.
Fuck the Vita! Fuck life!
All right.
I was angry.
Okay.
Okay,
love
but here's the thing before why are we missing the memory stick?
Yeah, the memory
Yeah,
stick.
I hate
Sony
it.
had the coolest portable system of all time.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
The
the mem-
coolest, could have been the greatest portable system of all time. And then Sony said, bend over, I am sticking this spiked bat in your ass.
And not
He has
only
a
that,
point.
It cost almost as much as the system if you had to get all this. The first two ones were expensive, but they didn't hold any games, so you ended up having to buy the system almost twice.
To give Simmons credit, he's kind of right. Like, yeah, Game Boy and Nintendo handhelds. Yeah. PSP was fucking cool, bro. We're gonna get another PSP. You know?
Yeah.
It's gonna be just as cool.
Cool.
as
It's
that
gonna be
one.
just as good or even
It was
better.
not. It was
even
not
better.
cool. It was not nothing as cool as what was going on with this shit. It was not cool.
Wasn't Vita backwards compatible?
Yes, with PSP.
It was.
Digitally backwards
Yeah,
compatible.
it had different cartridges, so you couldn't just
Yeah.
pump in the cartridge.
Right.
It used little cartridges, so you could not put a USB.
No physical
There was no physical
backwards
backwards
compatibility.
Right. It had to be. Kenny, what games did you play on Vita?
Mortal Kombat.
9?
Yeah, 9. Power Stone.
It had like a new character, right? Oh, it had Shao Kahn. It's playable, right?
It has
Yeah.
hitboxes and Ultimate Marvel 3, which no other version has. There's an Ultimate Marvel 3
Yeah.
on Vita that literally has we see the hit spheres, so we can see how the hitboxes of where the attacks
Yeah,
land.
yeah.
It has a hitbox
Was that
in the training mode.
Oh,
so you can
training,
see
yeah.
how fucking insane Virgil is and how fucking insane Dude's
Uncharted was good.
like we would guess and now you can literally see it. So that's like the only thing I got is that it's got like a cool. It's got Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
So I was able to hook up my PSP to my CRT television with like there was like a dongle or something like that. Yeah, an adapter.
I had it
Did
too.
the Vita have that too?
Yeah.
I think they all had it.
Yeah.
I would love to see
the
how.
Vita basically came PSTV.
Well, that's a whole different thing.
It's a different
But the Vita
intent, but
could.
yes.
The Vita could also hook up to a TV. Yes.
So
But it was just a cable.
yeah, it was a game. It was like a dongle port or whatever.
Pretty much, I
I
have
would love to see the Vita MVC 3 on a television with that hitbox.
We could do it.
With that hitbox.
It would look fucking.
You don't even have a Vita though.
What? Dude, I have like literally several Vitas. Like literally have many.
That's a regular
I'm
one.
sorry, PSPs.
Yeah, that's a regular. What you talking about? Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't know fucking. What the fuck are you talking about?
Battery.
Fuck. You have to. You should
this
have.
one.
Yeah, you should have taken them out. Yeah, take it out
So,
before.
by the way, heads up for anybody that has a that actually has a PSP or a Vita.
Old PSP
The
guys.
batteries that are inside them,
Take
the
them
lithium
out.
Batteries blow up.
Yes.
They like literally get bigger and they eventually explode. So if you have a system like that, go take it out. I have the limited edition one from Japan.
This guy.
The FF710.
Look at the flex. Look at the stunt. Yo, look at him stunt on you, chat. You ain't got that. He does. Yeah, chat. Do you have that? Huh? Yeah, you guys got. Nah, you ain't got that. Yeah. That man just rode in here in his Lambo.
I did.
Yeah, look at that.
That's my Lamborghini.
Yeah, check out his Ferrari, chat. You ain't got that.
All right.
He got
so Max has to cut then.
Dude, none of us put on the PlayStation VR.
It's not a console.
I mean, it kind of is.
That is, dude.
It's
Can it play by itself?
No, but it also can. It has games that can only play with it. It's a Sega CD.
Good point.
It's a Sega CD. It's a peripheral console. You have to have the peripheral, and you have to have games made just
This
for
guy.
the
He's
peripheral.
fucking this giant little clerk.
That's my
Hardcover and shit.
That one can play like NES games and
Yeah,
SNES
the big
games,
fat
all-
one.
all the good shit.
Max, please don't make me bring my PSPs over.
No, my PSP's better than yours.
Nah, I'm telling you right now, my shit is in pristine
My
condition.
PPS is
My PP's better than your PP.
my
Yeah,
PP.
I got a fat PP and I got a slim
I got a
PP.
dickless PS5.
You got a dickless PSP? Oh, I got two PSPs, man. Yeah, I got a silver one
I want to
too.
turn this bitch on. I want to turn it on. I have the cable, dude. I can like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I had. Yeah. I actually took this one off. Oh, I took this one off and I put like a rubber one on, and it's a sticky rubber, so it actually feels
so
really
it holds
bad.
your finger back.
Yeah, it feels really
That was
bad.
the problem.
Yeah.
Is that this thing?
It was
No,
super
it's
flab. Yeah,
rough.
it was really
Playing
bad.
like, dude, it's like, dude, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max is the best Street Fighter. I'm like, motherfucker, you are lying.
Yeah.
Because I had to play it on this shit. Like, that was not the best way to
Well,
engage
I mean,
games.
I actually had no problem using
But, dude, where?
I put an adapter on it. I put an adapter on
Yeah,
it.
you need to like
Yeah.
add shit to
Yep.
it.
I put an adapter on the top and on the bottom. As
Oh, I know why that's in there.
What is it?
I know why that's in there.
Wipeout.
It was one of the games that allowed you to get kernel access. It was one of the games that had like a fucked up piece of code in it that allowed you to get access to the system.
That's wild.
You remember that, chat? Dude, Tony Hawk games on PS1 are like that. They give you access to the system so you can do like. No, I didn't play Wipeout, chat. That wasn't for playing the game. That was for access to like game files and shit.
I'm gonna tell you right now, chat. Amateur. I didn't need none of that.
Steve sucked his dick right in the system.
You're right
You
in that
didn't do anything,
second.
and you just
I didn't-
you just talked to a dude or something.
No, I went on forums, multiple fucking
All right.
forums, sir.
PSP stays.
I figured that
Venus is
shit
long
out.
gone. We're just sitting here talking about PSP.
That guy's fucking awesome.
This is good. It is good.
All right,
Fucking awesome.
What are we cutting, Max?
You said N64 over GameCube, or
I will actually. You know what? Yeah, we're getting to the nitty gritty already. I will vote to nominate out the N64.
Wow.
Maybe it should stay a little longer, but here's the defense of N64.
Yeah.
Mario 64,
I know.
Ocarina of Time, GoldenEye.
Yeah, bro.
I know. It's like
Bruh.
it's got like 3 genre-defining things.
Killer Instinct
Gold is
is
okay.
on that fucking
Killer
system,
Instinct
bro.
Gold is okay.
Bro, it was the only
It
console
is
rocking that bitch.
It was. It is.
Yes,
It
bro,
doesn't get a pass.
crazy.
And I do say Perfect Dark over GoldenEye. Yes.
Ooh, yeah, Perfect Dark as well.
To me,
Turok.
I look at
Here's
the
the
other
thing.
stuff that's
Shit.
on here, and I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can take off Like, I don't know if I
Your
can take
Banjo-Kazooie
DS
was on that bitch.
before.
Shit, come
I
on,
don't wanna
Simmons.
argue PS1 over, and that I don't think PS1.
I will. Okay, I'll say is this: I vote to keep it on. What do you two
Look,
say?
and at the end
I
of the
say
day,
keep it for a little bit longer for
You're
sure.
gonna choose to kill something else.
at the end of the day,
Genesis, bro.
At the end of the day, it's just like
Yeah! Fuck the Genesis!
You didn't.
But I didn't pick it. I didn't pick.
True.
So I'm just saying. You
I
said
vote to stay in 64. I'm kidding. What? Finish your
It's
sentence.
your turn.
Let Kenny finish. Let Kenny finish.
at the end of the day, like, oh, let's keep it a little longer. Like second, 15th place doesn't count. It's gonna get cut.
So you're saying to cut?
I love it. It's one of my favorite systems.
It does have some of the best games, but its overall library we know is not
Yes.
like the best. Like it's got a lot.
It's like it's got it's overall.
I probably
but also
played-
some of the genre defining.
I
does.
probably
It's weird.
played some of the most, probably that console almost the most, like with No Mercy and all those
it's
four-player
top heavy.
games.
That's a good way of describing it.
It's top heavy.
And also, that controller, in my opinion, is pretty much only good for Zelda and Mario 64. Like, I'm not fucking lying to
for
you.
Banjo.
Like, yeah,
the games have to be designed
the game
around
has
it.
to be that way.
we're
Like
not
everything
talking
else,
about
we're just like,
controllers.
what the fuck?
No. It was great for Star Fox. Star Fox 64.
You're right.
But yeah,
You're right.
I can
For
totally-
first-party games where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like the controller was obviously at the forefront of their mind.
Yeah.
It's legit amazing.
Yeah.
But for 80% of everything else on the system, it's like Jesus Christ. Dude.
It was a platform system.
Yeah.
And a lot of the platform games on there
And
were.
to be real, there was a lot of FPS on that system because of its 3D capability.
Platformers and shooters.
A lot of
Yeah,
shooters.
shooters, yeah.
And I will not defend, I know nostalgia aside, I will not defend that controller even in a shooter formula back in the 90s. Like, even to me, I'm like, ugh. Like, this is, ugh. Like, I don't know about you.
They
don't use
wanted
controllers to
you.
shoot things.
They wanted you to hold the middle like a dick, and then
Yes.
twiddle your thumb right on it like the balls.
Yes, so you never
twiddle
really, never really put your hand on the left stick.
Yeah, you hands on the dick, thumb on the balls, and then you control
Don't you
the left
fucking
arm.
crap
Oh,
on in
yeah,
64?
Shut
No,
up!
what happened?
No controller talk.
Oh,
Yeah.
we can't talk about controllers.
up.
I said
Simmons,
that, and
shut
then
up.
you just kept going.
What the fuck?
Steve.
What?
Jesus.
We can't talk about the
Is the N64
controllers.
staying?
Me and
Yes.
Steve voted to stay.
Yes.
But then it's gonna get cut anyways.
That's
So
fine.
okay, so it's staying for now. It's stalemated. So let's just move forward. Who wants to cut the Genesis?
Kenny.
It was your turn.
I fucked up.
And you fucked up, so now it's still your turn to
No,
finally-
no, 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 no.
No, we're not doing that? Okay, fine. Who's next?
Genesis.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, there
because
you go.
everything else is going to be really hard to pull off.
Who's
here.
defending Genesis? Let's go.
That was my first system after the NES.
There is an amazing amount of games on the Genesis. Unfortunately, this group here really only played a small amount. Now,
100%.
I have the Genesis lives in my brain rent free because of how badly I fucking wanted it way back in back in '90.
That was really good marketing.
And like they would have it like because you remember when like Nicktoons first came out.
the Genesis.
Ren and
was-
Stimpy
yeah,
and stuff
dude.
like that. So they would have like this call-in thing where you would call into Nickelodeon and try to like match squares.
Yeah.
And the winner would get a
Jesus
Genesis.
Christ, I remember that.
And I wanted. I even tried to get on it. I wanted it
My
so
friend.
fucking bad.
I moved to like the mountains, right? So I was like estranged from all my friends and shit. And a kid across the street that was like a couple years younger than me, he had a Genesis. And I just had like a NES, right?
Yeah.
So I went over to his place and I could not believe it. This bitch was playing the future.
He's playing the
I still
future.
He had
remember seeing it for
Golden
the
Axe,
first
he
time.
had Robotnik, Mr. Bean Machine, he had Sonic 1. Sonic 2 wasn't even out yet.
I remember seeing Sonic for the
he
first
didn't have
time.
he didn't have Mean Bean Machine if Sonic 2 wasn't out yet.
I think he had that later then. I think I just borrowed it.
Either way, the point
So
is.
what?
Yeah, the Jurassic
But the
Park
thing
game.
is-
So what was it that made you want it over?
No, because it wasn't.
It
out
looked fucking insane.
Well, for one, the marketing was just on point.
Yeah.
Graphics, of course, all that. But then it was like, then Sonic 1 hits.
I was just about to say it had to have been Sonic.
And then Sonic hits, and Sonic is like, oh, fuck, I really, really fucking want this.
Yeah.
And there was a time where, I don't know if it was chickenpox or just general flu. We got like really sick one time. It happened to me and my brother separately. I think one was chickenpox, one was just really sick. We both had it. And my mom was like, okay, they have to stay home from school. So she went to a video rental store, The Warehouse.
Oh shit! The Warehouse.
You have to be really old enough.
Oh man, Chad, where's that? What is
She
that?
rented a Genesis for us, and one time it
You had to put a
was
credit card
like
down.
I can't remember what it was, but one time was like Sonic 2, and one time was like the because they had a Tiny Toon game come out, and when we get to that Genesis top 10, that thing is going on there.
Yeah.
Because Buster's Hidden Treasure is one of the greatest underrated platformers of all fucking time. And then Sonic 2, one of the greatest. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, one of the greatest all times. Mr. Michael Jackson, sales count.
I've never heard
MJ
of Buster's Hidden
wrote music
Adventures,
for
whatever.
Sonic 3.
Never heard of it.
How are we going to deny a system that Michael Jackson wrote music
Why is Kenny wearing
for a
eyeshadow?
first party game?
Kenny, you're wearing eye. Stop doing that. Looks like you're wearing eyeshadow. Quit it. Stop wearing eyeshadow, Kenny. Jack Sparrow over here.
Fuck you.
I will say that
So I'm just saying, yeah, it's
Simmons
getting,
is not wrong. The marketing for Genesis like got
Was
my
on point, bro.
got my fucking
Michael,
juices
they
flowing.
got Michael Jackson to market it in the early days.
And they constantly shitted on fucking NES. Anytime NES came out with something, they would say, "This is way better. Check this out." Blah, blah,
So
blah.
their marketing was that Nintendo was for children and babies.
Yes.
Right. This is a kid's system.
This
If
is
you
the
want to actually
coolest
grow
system.
up, you need a Genesis.
Yeah,
it
Genesis.
worked, dude. And the thing is, the people that were convinced by that were 8-year-olds. So it was really effective because everything you want as an 8-year-old is to be a big kid or to not be a big kid anymore, to be like a grown up.
I want to be a teenager.
I want to be older, you know. So
I want to
anyway.
be big.
I'm surprised your mom didn't say it was the devil.
Trust me, there was a lot of convincing that had to go.
Oh yeah, you guys had that. You guys
Surprised
had
he let
that.
you get the system because it was black. Like,
Right?
it was literally like demonic looking. You can't have that.
And it's called Genesis for crying out loud.
Yeah, Genesis, that's blasphemy.
Right? Like,
So
I'm
here's
right.
the thing. I never got it.
Oh,
I never got it.
Really?
We only rented it. She only rented it when we rented it. So I spent a year of my life mowing lawns
Yep.
and doing chores
hustle, man.
to save up money because we were really poor.
We all have
Yeah.
these stories, bro.
Yeah.
And I saved up allowance for a year so I could go to Toys R Us and buy a Sega Nomad.
I could.
Long after the system was already gone, but I didn't care. I wanted that system so bad. And so I ended up finally getting a Sega Nomad, one of the coolest ass systems ever. So
I lived in an apartment complex, very rundown apartment complex. So a rundown condoms.
Yeah,
And so we didn't mow the lawns. Like I had to do dog walking.
Yeah.
I fucking knocked on everybody's door. Oh, you got a dog? I can walk your dog. I can walk your dog. Yeah, dude, I was doing that shit for a
So
long
whenever
time.
you get to eventually the system you bought with that, you get that's part of your story up here.
Yeah.
Whatever your origin, your system, everyone has a system origin story up here that you did that shit
Yeah.
for. We'll have to talk about it, okay? We'll have to talk about it.
So, anyways, I don't know. That's my defense of Genesis. If y'all want to cut it, I get it.
All right. So I think like the problem with
Even-
the library is that it does have a lot of good stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like it's
too-
similar to Saturn in many ways. Like at the time,
Well,
wildly popular.
It's Sega's curse always. Sega comes out first, and then people come out after it and build it
and
better.
build upon
Build
the
it.
bones.
Yeah.
Yes.
It happened with Dreamcast. It happened with Saturn.
Yeah.
Genesis.
Keeping
but here's the
Genesis
thing.
over Saturn, I don't think that's going to happen. Just because
So
the Saturn
y'all-
library is so
All
varied.
three of you are good with cutting Genesis. Then?
I'm
Yes,
good with
sir.
Yeah.
Just because, and then
It might be a little early. It might be a little early, but I think it's fair.
It could have lasted longer, but
Yeah,
since
yeah.
we also have like handheld up here too, we have to start moving.
So I think it's Steve's turn then.
There's too many PlayStations.
So which one goes?
Said it, not me.
So which one goes, dude?
The worst PlayStation out of the four, because 1, 2, 3, 4,
There's 4 PlayStations up here.
is got to be PS4.
What? No.
PS4.
Dude, the PS4 library, you've probably played more than any other system.
It doesn't beat PS2. PS2's library,
But
and
the
it does
PS3 is literally right there.
right. So that's why I'm not touching it. I'm not touching PS3
Right. So why wouldn't you?
because the system is too fucking godlike as a whole. Because I'm still counting the whole thing,
Sure.
but overall, PS1 still beats its library. PS2 still beats its library. PS3 isn't going anywhere in my opinion. So PS4 has got to go.
I definitely think, personally, there's an argument to be had for PS1 and PS2 library, for sure.
Okay, PS1 and PS2 do have bad games. They have a lot of bad games, but
All four of them have
all 4 of them. all 4 of them.
right.
I'm
But
just saying, in terms
overall-
of extremely quality first-party and third-party games in total,
Yeah.
I think that the PlayStation 4 definitely beats the PS3. And I get it. PS3 did more things. It played more things. I'm down with you on that.
Yeah.
In terms of only functionality, I would put the PS3 really high. But the problem is, most of the games that were on there on this fucking system ran way better over here.
Yeah.
Everything ran way, unless it was a first party game.
I'm not comparing that to this. I'm comparing that to the other PlayStation.
Right, but I'm gonna say this
I'm gonna-
eventually comes down between this and this type shit.
Well, then
and I
that's-
think the other one,
Yeah.
PS4, is such a fucking great library. It's insane.
Here's the thing. PS4 games are still playing PS5 games. God of War on a base.
Yeah, to be real, this
on a base
generation is still
PS4,
doing this.
Still doing this.
So
We're still stuck here, dude, because
still
it was so
stuck here.
good.
So, I know you want Bloodborne, which means nothing to you, but Bloodborne, Ghost of Tsushima,
God of War.
God of War Ragnarok, both Horizons,
Yeah.
MKX.
Literally every fighting game.
Yeah.
Every fighting game was
game.
played here from this generation. There's so many fucking
Yeah.
fighting games. It's
Tekken
fucking
7,
crazy, dude.
like-
You mostly play GTA 5.
Nier Automata.
Well, here's the thing. It's not going.
Oh, because we all agree.
Yeah, we all agree.
Okay, well,
So it's not
I would vote to keep PS4 on.
going. Yeah, PS4 is staying.
Fucking.
PS4 is staying easy.
There's so many good games.
Spider-Man.
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 If you got
Spider-Man and
okay,
Miles
I lost my
Morales.
turn because I was gonna say something else, but I lost my turn. So
Okay.
can I go again or no?
You can talk. I mean, we're not taking
I
off
can't.
right now, but you can say what you want.
What?
No, never
We're
mind.
keeping it.
Okay, fine. That's fine. No, I concede then, I guess. Cause yeah. I'm not letting you guys touch PS3. I'm not letting you guys touch PS3. You guys go fuck right off. You guys are not fucking touching the PS3. It'll definitely last a hell of a lot longer.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
PS3.
You can go fuck right off. You can go fuck right
It's
off, sir.
happening.
You can go fuck right off.
It's happening.
No, hell no.
Here's my
This system is fucking. This system is
The
literally the
biggest
best out of the
argument-
entire
The
fucking.
biggest argument for this is like if you existed in a small window of time.
Yeah.
The best argument.
And that small window still superseded all other fucking consoles. Regardless if it was a small window or not, it still superseded everything that
It
was out there.
has.
It is the best system of literally all time.
It's my turn to talk.
Technically.
Oh, okay,
It's my turn
yeah.
to talk. It has the weakest first-party output of all four Sony systems.
First
Output. What do you?
first 4 years of the
Like-
system were embarrassing.
Yes.
Like
I'm
it
just saying,
took a
it has
long
the
time.
worst first-party output of the Sony systems.
Boy, howdy! We hope you love MotorStorm.
And here's the thing.
And you know how
And
you know how PlayStation and Xbox 360 had this big war, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, shit like that." But at the end of the cycle, PS3 still came out on top. Everybody knows
Sales
that.
don't matter, bro.
It doesn't. It does matter because that shows that the general population knew what they were buying, and that it was a better system.
You're not arguing with the general population here.
Well, I'm arguing with the population.
games-
that knew what I said that.
PlayStation
comes
has a
to
brand
these
sold
two-
more.
When it comes to these two,
the games
sounds
ran
better.
better on this if they were multi-platform.
If we're arguing
the
this,
first party
this
was
era,
arguably the weakest of any PlayStation home console. This thing, like, the
At the end
online
of the
was,
era, the
online
people
was
saw the
free,
light.
The online is
but
free.
I had party
That's
chat
true.
here.
Oh my god.
We're giving you that. The online was
The
free.
online was free.
Fucking-
The
all it cost,
And it was fucking good.
all it cost was your personal credit card information.
That did not happen to everybody. You can't use that. That's very circumstantial.
No, that's circumstantial. Come
That's
on,
very
Simmons.
circumstantial.
That's-
That did not happen to
All
everybody.
it
Flag on the
cost
play.
was personal information.
Flag on the play.
Alright,
You
That did not
got
happen.
flag.
That did not happen to everybody,
Why did you
sir.
throw a flag? Your credit card was part of
We
it.
can't do the leaks.
No,
okay? I can't.
no.
We can't do that.
Can't do controls. Can't do leads.
Anyways, point is party chat.
Red ring of death.
True.
And no,
Red ring of death.
Which will be the argument there.
So we also
But-
argued technical misfortunes with
Right.
systems will not be. We can't use that.
Party chat was such a godsend.
So, okay.
Especially in COD. I did not want to hear every 13-year-old's racist, homophobic tirade playing any sort of video game.
it's basically Discord before Discord.
Right, so 360 gave me the option to party chat. I could be party chatting while not even playing a game or with people across different games.
That's great,
which PS3
Simmons.
didn't
How much
have.
money did you spend on that? Because
Less than I spent on this.
you threw all your money away on your party chat.
You spent $600.
$599 US
This did not
dollars.
cost that.
And it was all worth it.
But you're saying you're using price as an argument, and you
Right.
have the least argument with price with that. System.
The $600 was for a console. You're paying for a service when I could just mute the other person on the other end. It's not that hard.
But how you gonna but what are you gonna do about your friends? could you go on PS3, jump into your friend's party chat and go, hey guys, what y'all playing? Oh, we're all on this game. Oh, cool, send me an invite. You can't do that.
My base argument here on the Xbox 360 versus PS3 is that pretty much every game ran better on 360 by like a lot.
Sure.
They just functionally, and fighting games especially, this was a huge era for fighting games,
and
everything worked good.
I think that was a problem with the communication of how to make games for the system.
Yeah,
and I was working for Activision at the time, and all of the devs were saying the same shit. It is how it was designed. Not necessarily the design, but how they taught people how to actually make games for them.
No RAM.
Towards the end of the cycle, a lot of the devs started figuring out, and that was a bad communication.
First party devs.
Yes, the first party devs.
Pretty much Uncharted games and shit were
A lot of
Killzone 2 happened,
Oh my god, fucking Uncharted was godlike on that fucking
dude,
Bro!
So the thing is, I had both
It
of
had a
systems.
solid fucking catalog.
So if I was going to propose my argument, right? So yeah, PS3, online was free. Xbox 360, online cost money. However, online was significantly better. Like what you had for like fun, even if I wanted to open up messages and shit, I'm like, this sucks, dude. Like just functionally using the system.
How hard was it to push the home button and scroll over the?
It took forever. The Xbox shit just worked. Like things would have to load up, and you'd have to wait, and you'd have to
The RAM bottlenecking was pretty slow.
You don't know how rough the online experience was with shit like here until you had an Xbox and things. And the only reason that is no RAM. It had no RAM to load anything. It had to offload it to the CPU and shit to make that shit actually work.
Right. Don't forget custom fucking themed menus where they have YoVideogames on the fucking menu.
Yes.
Crazy fucking customization that you can have there. PlayStation Home. They even had a fucking PlayStation at home where you could fucking help poor children in fucking poor countries that needed the fucking CPU system. No system was able to do that. This wasn't just a fucking system. This was a godsend. Are you out of your fucking mind?
The marketing's really working on Steve.
Are you fucking crazy?
The cancer solving.
Yes, it's all like the come on.
I mean,
Did that amount to anything?
Nobody cared.
literally bullshit.
Nobody else. They wanted their video games. They cared about people.
Steve.
This was a people fucking system.
Steve.
They cared about the children.
Steve, that was
Dude,
more-
they don't care. They don't care about the children. I care, and so did Sony. They care, Jack.
God.
You care about the children. Well, they did.
That-
And they did research.
That's a lot of.
That was part of it.
That's a lot of corporate.
PlayStation at home, PlayStation home. God, come on.
Steve, that stuff was.
Please.
That was all
no,
marketing.
RAM. That was not right. No,
That never did anything.
that helped. It helped.
They said it would.
And
They
it did.
said that this is what this could be used
Yes,
for.
and
they
it-
also said if you tied 10 of these together, it could launch a nuke. So this doesn't seem that was part of their marketing, my dude.
They said
like that. So I don't buy it on the corporate aspect of we're going to try to appeal to all sides. This is the greenest, most eco-friendly, DNA-solving, children-saving system, but we can also launch nukes with it. Don't fall for the corporate horse shit.
Max, do you care about the children?
In this case, absolutely not.
Oh my God!
Fictional Sony children? Fuck them!
I can't believe you
Fuck
said
the fictional
that.
Sony children!
Not the kids.
All right, fuck them kids.
Not the kids.
Erase it! It's over!
Unbelievable.
Erase it!
The children. Are you serious? Wow. This is the. You see this, guys?
And here,
This is what I'm
I
dealing with.
have something that absolutely
This is what I'm
ends
dealing with right now,
This
guys.
entire argument between the systems.
Holy
If we're talking
shit.
Xbox 360 versus PS3.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Custom soundtracks.
Fuck yes. Custom soundtrack.
Custom.
Yes,
You
yes,
could
yes.
put in a CD and download your CD onto the system. Custom soundtracks. And in-game, when you're playing games just through the UI, you can literally change the music of all your games.
Every game.
My fighting, I was playing Street Fighter 4 with Killer Instinct music. It was fucking crazy, dude.
With the PS3, I was able to do that with certain games. Not all the games, but there were games
This was built into the system.
Into the
Right.
system itself.
PlayStation was doing that, and they were offering it for free, but it wasn't for every single game.
Yes.
They were moving towards that, but then the end of the cycle started
I
happening.
know, like
So-
they saw what Microsoft was doing,
Yes.
and then didn't
And
want
then
to commit fully to it because it would be very expensive, and you have to get the approvals of everybody.
Hey,
well,
well,
Xbox made everybody do it.
Okay, well, you gotta understand that they did a hell of a good job of doing that because I had all my MP3s on that fucking system and I was playing games with the music in the background.
Yeah,
and that shit was great.
Functionality was there. This started on 360. They copied it.
Yes,
but
and they did a
let me
good job
also
about it.
let me also talk about the now deleted PS3 some more.
Yeah.
Blu-rays, HD DVDs. Blu-rays were obviously still around.
Yes.
HD DVDs definitely are not. So in terms of its functional
Blu-rays are barely around though.
they're around. They're around.
They're around. They make them.
They make
around.
DVDs still.
Yeah. Well, no, DVDs actually sell more than Blu-rays now.
I know, that's what I'm. But all I'm saying is
people would rather
that
just
in
have
terms
the
of it
DVD.
being a multimedia system, oh yeah, bro, you can do some crazy network shit with your Xbox 360 because it was a Microsoft.
You have to hack this shit.
No, it's not. No, hacking was what you had to do on PS3. But Xbox like allowed you to like DNS into the system and shit.
Yes.
Like
I
it
can
was
go on
some
the internet
interesting
with that.
shit.
Yeah.
I get it, but like still, PS3 did have a shit ton of functionality in it.
Yes.
It had a shit ton of stuff it could do.
Almost-
It really did depend on which system you had. because
Almost,
the IO was not
almost
the same.
literally identical of the amount of things that you can do on Xbox you can do on PS3. It just wasn't as functional as the Xbox 360.
So there's also a thing that was happening here. This is the dawn of arrogant Sony.
Yes.
Right, because Xbox had fucked up with their dawn. They had their dawn of being arrogant as fuck.
Xbox had no arrogance around this time. Dude.
No.
This is Xbox One you're thinking of.
What was it? The crazy DRM bullshit.
That's Xbox One, dude.
Yeah.
That was Xbox One.
This system was doing everything and it's possible to get you to buy it.
Yes.
They're making it cheap, adding all this functionality. Like that's the Xbox One. That's not up here. We're not arguing that shit.
No.
Not even here.
PS3 was the beginning of like we can milk these fuckers.
Oh, yeah.
We really can milk these.
That was
fuckers.
after. That was after because then they started doing.
No bullshit.
No. On PS4, that's when they started charging people to fucking online.
No. PS4 was the one where we have to get you back on our side because
Yes.
we fucked up so bad.
Let me remind you of. We've offered the luxury model. We've offered the Mercedes of video game systems. If people want a PS3, they should just work 2 jobs if they can't afford.
We're back here again.
That
right
is
now.
the exact quote
We're literally
from Sony before it even
we're there
came out.
right now on PS5, which sucks.
The problem is that they had to justify it because the Blu-ray was so expensive. They had to say something.
No.
It wasn't some elite bullshit. It was just because the fucking Bluray was so goddamn expensive
No.
to
The
make.
Blu-ray was not
They
expensive.
fucking made the Blu-ray. They created Blu-ray.
It cost them that much to make the goddamn thing.
No, dude. They literally created and like created the disc so that everyone has to pay us
Yes.
to use the disc.
Yeah.
They milked everyone for fucking Blu-rays. Smart business.
It's gone.
But that wasn't what they spent billions of fucking dollars making a chip that nobody knew how to make games for. And then it could launch nukes.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Like
And it had
the
more
system was a
capacity.
fucking pain in the ass. An absolute pain in the ass
Yeah.
for developers,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
for fans.
It's gone.
I remember one thing that
It's
Max.
gone.
I remember one thing Max told me years ago that stuck with me because it fucking enraged me. Max, I was complaining about the fact that these fucking companies always give us some fucking new version of the new iPhone or the new Android or whatever like that, and they fucking crank up the price, and we're all just stuck trying to buy that shit, and we're all just fucking mindless fucking consumers in that mindset. Right. And Max goes, well, because the technology is better. So when they change the technology, of course it's gonna cost more. That's what happens. Isn't that the same fucking thing that's happening with the PS3 right fucking now? Isn't that literally what was happening with the PS3?
No, because that
when the
was
PS3
cheaper.
fucking came out.
Because that was cheaper.
Because it had the stupid
and it ran games better.
It ran games better. It was cheaper. Sony chose to invest all this crazy money into some crazy harebrained scheme. We're also gonna milk people because everyone has to use our Blu-rays and shit. So,
But the Blu-rays were better. They just were. But they held more capacity, and they were able to run faster on a different system.
Steve, did you enjoy installing every single fucking game? Because
that was bad.
every fucking game you had to spend an hour installing.
There is unanimously did not fucking like that.
For the majority of games on Xbox, they just read right off the disc.
Yeah, but you needed 2 discs as opposed to.
Sometimes.
How many games
but
did you
almost
need
no
to
games.
add? There were multiple disc games on Xbox.
Yes,
But how
almost no
many
games.
were?
Almost no games required.
How many were multiple
discs?
disc games on Xbox 360?
Have a good one.
And they had DVD DL Plus. So even in that situation, I know this because of reasons. They had DVD DL Plus, which were much bigger DVD DL discs that were like hold up to 16 gigs and shit.
DL Plus, did anybody even fucking have that?
Look, guys.
No, well, it doesn't matter because they're just DVDs. They just read off a laser. It doesn't fucking matter.
How about the
What
3DS? Because there's the DS and the 3DS. There's too many
Kenny,
DSs.
the PlayStation 3. Listen, bitch.
Max.
Yeah. All right, it's already gone.
It's gone. We're talking about the girl that got away. She's gone.
I love you.
It's gone,
Also your
dude.
turn, Max.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, I was the one who asked.
We're not talking it back.
That's what we're doing with chat. Look at all these lame ass systems.
All right, Max. Which one's getting cut?
I say 3DS. Okay. Yeah.
Lame ass.
My issue with it is that its gimmick was neat, but valuable for a few minutes. And then to me, it just like really was like, wow, the entire point, the visual fidelity of the system, obviously way better. You know?
Steve was right. That one guy said it. I saw it. That one guy. I saw
Smash
it.
Brothers,
yeah.
Smash Brothers on that system legit amazing.
fantastic.
Good system.
But if we're comparing it to like 3DS to DS, I just think DS in terms of like dual screen functionality and touch and all that stuff was like really
The
good.
game I played the most was Spot Pass on the
Right.
3DS.
Good
Other than
system.
Smash.
Good system.
You walk
good
by
games.
somebody, they
had
hit your
themes.
system.
Yeah.
Had Sega Dreamcast and
There's a reason
Saturn
why
and
it's
whatever
still around
things.
right now on this list. Or over there, sorry.
But I think arguably like 3DS just overall just it didn't last as long. It didn't have as much an impact as the DS.
To me, like the 3DS kind of reminds me of what's happening with the Switch 2 right now, in a way. Where it's like, oh yeah, it's just the DS again, but it's got 3D, and the games look better. And they obviously are running like PSP level now, almost to a certain degree. Dude, but if there was, let's just talk about 3DS before it evaporates into the ether. My dude, Resident Evil Revelations, that weird-ass RE5 game, Street Fighter 4, fucking Capcom knew what they were doing on that shit.
And Monster Hunter 4.
Monster Hunter, like the 3DS Monster Hunter Generations, like, Jesus Christ, dude, Capcom was pushing that fucking system. The Metroid remake, the Zelda remakes,
Dead or
like,
Alive Dimensions.
the Tekken 6 was on the fucking 3DS, some weird Tekken game. They all, dude, this system was pumping out shit. It was crazy. So anyway, it's good. Like, it's legit. It's an amazing system. My problem with that is that it feels like we're spending all this extra money on this 3D gimmick, and it's like a huge aspect of it, and I always turn it the fuck off.
The gimmick on the name of the system, you didn't care about.
It literally is the
and
most
then
like...
it was, and then they just
they just
started
stopped it.
selling it. They
They
started
stopped
selling
it.
2DS.
Yes, they realized so much. We invested so hard into this, and nobody gives a fuck that we're just going to take it out.
You know what the thing is I like about it the most?
You want to know who's doing that now? VR.
Oh, really?
Yeah, VR. They don't give a shit now. It's like. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
The VR attachment.
One of my
Yeah,
favorite
VR
things,
competition.
I played Spot Pass and I took pictures of my kids at Disneyland in 3D.
Yeah, it's cute.
That was cute.
It has like cute things like that,
Yeah.
like VR, AR.
That's a really good Mario Kart.
yeah, dude.
Oh.
Oh, so props to the. Wait, no, I'm talking about DS. I'll shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Which was like 2D Mario can exist, man, and it can be great. Like, whoa, fuck.
All right, well, so after Max is what? Kenny? Yeah.
Kenny, let's scratch out the PS1. Let's go. Come on.
Oh, no.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, the Wii.
Okay. All right.
Who put that up?
I did.
Let's put the Wii up there.
I think.
We gotta start thinking.
I think the thing is like here's the thing. Our age, there was much anger and bias towards the Wii for being wiggle waggle horse shit.
Yeah.
Probably a phrase you've uttered
I still
billions of times in your
wiggle,
life.
wiggle waggle horse shit. I still
I'm arguing here is one, I'll say it has a much better library than the three of you will probably ever know or get
that's
credit
due
for.
to sheer size.
Sheer size, yeah. It just because I was reviewing games professionally at the time, so
Yeah.
I got a lot of games to
It's a
review.
gold mine of hidden gems that are
Yeah.
almost impossible to find because
Right.
there's just so much shit.
But here's the thing: the biggest
Wii Evolutionary.
the biggest thing for the Wii is the legacy aspect of it, because the Wii was instrumental in expanding the game audience, and kind of the same way that PS2 was with the DVD player. Like, that system did so much to get so many more people playing and interested in video games. You got chicks that would never play a video game playing video games because the Wii was fun.
Their grandma was
if
playing
you were
Wii
in
bowling.
college, if you were in college,
Everybody had a
you
Wii.
could find a girls' dorm. I'm literally basing this off what Andrew told me. If you were in college, you could literally find like girl sororities that would have a Wii. They wouldn't have no 360 or PS3. That's nerd shit.
Damn.
But they would have a Wii. So if you could go play, some
I
Wii play or
feel-
Wii tennis. So you could do that. Your grandma would play Wii.
Yeah.
Your grandpa would play Wii.
To me, the Wii was like the beginning of actual mainstream relatability for a system where like anybody can play this shit. The Nintendo, the PlayStation, like all this shit is for quite literally nerds. It's right with people that are really into this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're looking for more of that. The PS2 sort of bridges the gap a little bit because of a DVD player.
Yeah.
But the Wii found a way to like bring people together with wiggle waggle horse shit. Yeah. And it's like, yes, they finally had a system. To me, unimpressed. Just because I've been playing fucking DDR and shit. I've been physical games were a thing that I already really enjoyed and knew about all the way leading up to the system. So for me, it was like, people actually have to get up and move when they play video games, not be fat shitheads. Like, that was the marketability of the system that everyone was talking about. That's why you told people to buy it.
The most fun version of RE4, the last system to arguably have like rail shooters on it and stuff.
Yeah,
like the last,
but so many light gun games.
The last hurrah for light gun.
The Virtual Console.
And
Jesus.
let me officially
bring back old games.
The Virtual Console lets you officially buy and own, not subscribe, not just sort of like a nebulous
download and own
cloud-based. No, download and own. Really well emulated versions. The N64 emulator on the Wii, it's still one of the best N64 emulators of all time. So that system had Commodore 64, Neo Geo, TurboGrafx, MSX, Genesis. There was so many official Virtual Console emulators on there. You could literally own the entirety of gaming's history up to that point.
So how did you download it?
Go online.
No, I'm saying like, was it like a USB stick or what?
No, memory card.
And a memory card.
You could put a hard drive.
It had memory on it.
You could put a memory card in it. You could put a USB hard drive in it. It had expandable storage.
And 64 then.
But you're keeping the Wii? Wait, the Wii's gone?
The 64 is gone.
Oh, damn! Whoa!
What happened?
What happened? Whoa, Kenny!
Simmons talked about the Wii. The N64 was already on its way out.
What the fuck, dude? Zelda. Mario.
It was already on its way out.
How could he?
It was already on its way out.
Dude, don't ever do that again.
You can't.
This guy just put it in.
You have to promise me you'll never do that again.
Don't do that shit.
Steve loves
Start
the N64.
erasing stuff without anybody's approval.
Please.
It was going.
It wasn't
It
going
was
anywhere.
going. We said,
According to you.
While.
According to you. No. This man just erased stuff. I was like, what are you doing?
Kenny, please.
What the fuck?
Oh, Jesus Christ. What
I mean, I agree with
Jesus
it.
Christ. What are you doing?
But I kind of see what he's
This
doing.
man's jumping the gun here.
I agree
All right,
with
You
it.
don't jump the gun.
N64.
All right, got the N64.
All right,
That's okay. Let's get it out of here.
Let's take it off.
That's good.
Take N64 off.
That's a great idea.
Kenny,
Use the sock.
Yeah, you gotta get
Use
the sock.
Okay, we gotta get rid of this. Can we get some right there?
Upgrade of time. Mario 64 doesn't
That was
exist.
Steve's turn.
That was a great call.
Okay.
All right, it's your turn, Steve.
NES. NES is not beating Super NES. I don't give a fuck what you guys are talking about.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so
There's an argument here.
And now hold on. Don't give me that bullshit argument. Oh, this wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for this. This is legacy. Oh, no. Super NES is arguably not arguably. Super NES is the superior fucking console to NES. I'm sorry. It's gotta go.
So,
it's not beating Super NES.
Here is my argument.
Oh god.
are we saying
NES
why can't
was-
they both be on?
NES. Okay. So here's the thing. I agree with Steve.
Yes.
NES.
I kind of agree on
NES was all of our. I'm going to propose my proposition. NES was all of our first systems, right? Was NES your first system?
Huh?
Was NES your first system?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So it's the dawn of video games for literally all of us.
Yes.
Like we couldn't afford these with our money. We were definitely gifted them or given them. It was our first introduction to video games for the most part. It's hugely influential. Duh.
Yeah.
So we don't need to talk about that shit.
Yeah.
I don't think the NES library is particularly great.
No.
I think it's got like it's a step up above what was going on with the Atari 2600.
And that's kind of
The
fair.
Nintendo seal of quality didn't exactly mean much.
Yeah.
But for me personally, like a lot of the games that are on here, even with like, I'm not going to talk about retrospect, but even when I was younger, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I did on the NES, but I want a Genesis.
The thing is that the NES is like the Model T, right?
Yes.
And then we're all the way up to like Ferraris now with like the PS4, right, or whatever.
Sure.
But this is like the Ford Model T, the car that made cars a thing. You know, it birthed the auto industry.
And that's why I'm saying you can't.
But no one's driving a Model T now.
There you go.
Yeah, but there's certain things that there's obviously like reasons to appreciate it.
Right, sure. It does have good
Yeah.
games like
I
Simon's Quest.
think let's take a look at what else is on here.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
okay, I have an argument between the NES and the Game Boy, but I don't want to. I'm not the one that's doing this shit right now.
Right.
I think we have two very similar systems over here.
I think the library of Game Boy.
Ooh.
I'm not comparing that right now because if we compared all three, NES would be first before.
And okay, so we're all kind of in agreement. Super NES is staying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And if I had the option to do versus Game Boy and NES, god damn, that's actually tough.
It's actually tough. It's actually tough.
It is tough.
I would go NES over Game Boy, but that's just because I didn't gel with handheld gaming that much.
Give me some games on Game Boy. You gotta save this system.
He's got his motherfucker.
Yeah.
His literal favorite game is on that
All time
system.
is on Game Boy.
Yeah.
What did he fucking do? What else?
The thing is, it's
What would he fucking do?
Okay, look,
Fuck
look.
you! Give me some more.
What else does the system have?
No, both of these are game changing in the industry. Game changing for console, game changing for creating handhelds.
Okay, here
Handhelds exist.
are we including color on Game Boy?
Yes.
Well, then no, because you'd put Game Boy Color on there.
I mean, because it's like a minor upgrade.
Yeah.
It's not like
All right, tell them.
okay. So you have look, you have Tetris, you have Zelda, you have Pokemon, the dawn of fucking Pokemon on the original game.
You're not selling me here, buddy.
You know, you have the dawn of the Wario Land games, the Mario.
Ow! Good God!
Oh God.
Okay, keep going.
And then if you include Game Boy Color, you have Metal Gear Solid,
your
which is
hairs,
amazing.
dude. There's your hair
You
there.
have like the Dawn of like
Arm hair.
Shantae, as well.
I shouldn't have
Pokemon
cursed
Gold Man.
Pokemon. Nintendo heard it.
His arm hair's on there.
Okay. All right. I'm switching.
What?
Game Boy over NES. Game Boy's got to go.
You can't switch in the middle of it. You proposed NES. Are we voting to stay or kill NES?
I vote to keep NES over Game Boy.
Yeah, same. But
Well, I vote to keep NES
Oh.
as is.
There you go.
Okay, well there you go.
There it is. All right. There you
For
go.
now, but I'm like,
All right.
SNES is better.
That's
Okay.
and Game Boy's being erased?
Well, it's my turn to pick.
Nothing got erased because I lost the argument on NES. So who's next?
Me.
All right.
Just say Game Boy Simmons.
I'm gonna say GameCube.
Ooh.
It's time.
Wait, where is it? Oh shit. It's way down there.
It's time.
We all forgot about it.
yeah.
It's time. When we look at the breadth, the width of the rest of this
Okay,
game systems,
wrong.
You're not wrong.
GameCube's great.
You're not wrong.
It really
You're not wrong.
is. But
I don't even. We already argued the GameCube, so I think you're not
Yeah,
wrong.
the GameCube's like, oh, let's keep it a little while longer. Let's keep it a little longer.
Yeah,
just makes
I
it come
don't
back
think
to it.
in good conscience I could put the GameCube over the Game Boy. I don't think I could do it. And the thing is, I'm not even a very big handheld person.
No.
I didn't play that many Game Boy games, like all things considered. I thought I had an NES.
It's crazy too. You guys shit it all
Trying
over
to
the
move
Wii.
shit on, bro. I'm
And
salty you're still in the chat.
I made a compelling ass argument.
Yeah, you did because you guys were shitting all over the Wii and GameCube
Why?
was over that. So yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but the Wii literally let you
I would
officially
bringing a little
buy and
common
own
sense to this
the
shit.
entirety of the
Just keep
game,
this thing flowing.
the video game system, like Genesis, Super NES, NES.
seriously, though.
You know.
Yeah, like the
Neo Geos,
virtual library is what
TurboGrafx.
kept. Virtual console is what kept.
So
the
you
Wii.
guys enjoyed doing this more than playing the GameCube?
The problem is
We didn't
that-
do that. We just played with normal controllers, like
Yeah,
gentlemen.
you did
You
not
have to
have
flip it on the side, right?
No,
Or get a Pro
dude,
controller.
Like,
Oh, the
Or
Or
Pro
use a
controller.
GameCube controller
Like,
on the top of it.
these were readily.
Oh, you could
available.
stick it onto the
Yeah,
GameCube.
my Wii is right down there, Steve. You should give it a tug.
Whoa!
There's there's GameCube ports on the top right there.
Wow.
It had a normal controller.
But it didn't come with the system.
No.
No,
It
was
doesn't matter. We're not
possible.
talking controls.
But we're not talking controls.
Yeah,
You know who
but
made
still,
that
but we're
controller?
mentioning it.
I played the entirety of Twilight Princess and
Miyamoto.
Zelda on this.
Miyamoto made that controller.
Do you know? You know who made that controller? Designed it?
Who?
Capcom.
Ah, shocked.
For Monster Hunter.
Oh, for Monster Hunter Tri.
For Monster Hunter Tri.
Wow, that makes sense. Looks like a PSP, dude.
So wouldn't Nintendo just buy the rights to it or something?
No. They
It
just
worked with them.
they wanted because Monster Hunter 3 abandoned the PS3 to go to the Wii. Capcom asked, "Hey, can we design a controller?" For this?
Somebody's out here saying remove PSP before GameCube.
Wow, that is hilarious. Who was the one guy in the wind who said
I'm
that?
saying it's time for GameCube. It's a great
GameCube
system,
time.
but
We're not. These aren't in order, dude.
Yeah.
The
Relax.
only order that matters is actually
One guy.
We're keeping things. Take off GameCube.
Who said that? Somebody find him.
GameCube. It has been fun. Da da da. What we're trying to say is that the PSP is better than the GameCube in every single way. Your mother.
I don't
Damn.
agree with that, but like
not anything.
I don't know.
So how many do we have right now? Let's see.
We're just whittling down.
There's 6 on this 6 on this side, and you have about 5 more you got to get rid of.
Jesus Christ.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You got 3 more you got to get rid
3
of.
more.
3 more.
More?
Yeah, 3 more.
I think every PlayStation is right. Oh, except PS3. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, Max. Your
So
turn.
we're looking at killing 3 systems right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your turn, Max.
Yeah. Looking.
No, he's
Means
not.
I don't-
He's not
I
looking.
mean,
He's
I'm
not
not
looking
even gonna
hard.
get a turn again, but
He's not even gonna
that's okay.
He's not looking hard enough.
looking.
Depends how hard you guys fight.
Simmons, it's time.
For what?
Ooh.
Switch.
I don't agree.
I know you won't.
I don't agree. I think
all know you
if you
won't.
really look at the library of that system, it has some of the all-time best fucking games on
It does.
With like Bayo 2, Tropical Freeze,
It does.
your Monster Hunter GU, all my
does.
Xenoblades.
It
You
does.
know,
I know.
Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart, Metroid
In the
Dread,
same-
Animal Crossing.
To me, the Switch
Animal
has
Crossing New Leaf.
just as engaging of a library of games relevant to its time, which is like a long time, as the Wii did. Like the Wii had a shit ton
I
of
would say the
games.
Switch has a better library than
It has more, but it's like I think that's comparable. Where it's like the amount of shit that
I
was
don't
like
even.
really
I
good.
wouldn't even say comparable. I would say the Switch has a better library than the Wii. Period. Like not even contestable. And I fought for the Wii.
In terms of better games, you're right.
I mean,
just
like, you know,
because
Doom, Doom Eternal, like, you know, Near Automata, they function on it.
Wii kind of was like the return of shovelware
Yeah.
in a way. And but don't get me wrong, this is almost like apples to oranges because the Switch is like the hentai game system.
Yeah,
Like, so to be real-
going on the eShop, it is just a sea of AI generated shovelware.
Like it's the fact that all this stuff is allowed is kind of like what the fuck. So it's almost like there's so many.
PS4
There's like 15,000 games on the Wii or some shit. I'm sorry, on the Switch.
Yeah.
My only argument is that I don't know if we're going to get many other people to defend the Switch super hard. That we have a few games, Kenny has a few games on it, but in terms of like its overall pantheon, the portability of the system, we're not talking about just the games, we're talking also about the portability of the system. And to me, that is one of the greatest boons, the greatest boons of the entire system is that the shit is actually movable and it had decent visuals. And I just never fucking played it portably. So
I rarely ever did.
I know.
And I play a lot of
A couple
Switch.
of times, like when I go to Halloween Horror Nights.
like
I
a
watch
couple of
Halloween
times.
Horror
Like
Nights,
the
I
Switch
played
still.
it on a plane. That's the only
On
time I
plane.
played
Steve,
it.
you have a Switch too. You have a Switch as well. So, do we have anything to really defend on the Switch on your end? To stay to stay in here.
Fitness is so good,
I mean,
right?
my thing, I would put Switch over Wii.
I would put Switch over Wii too.
I agree, but
You guys been talking shit about Wii for a while.
I am deeply looking at. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to have to pick one of these 3, and my argument was for Switch right now. But I'm looking at the Switch, the Wii, and the PSP. Before we get to top 10,
Yeah.
I'm looking at those.
Switch the Wii.
I don't know why the PSP is even
Or the
on.
DS?
I don't know why the PSP.
I don't even know why it's even on the list.
PSP ain't beating the
That
DS,
is
bro.
wild, bro.
PSP ain't beating the DS.
Are you fucking crazy?
No, dude.
What you could do unhacked on a PSP.
You can't
The
think
PSP
about.
on its own merits.
On its own merits.
Strictly on its own merits.
We cannot talk about modability. And that's like literally what the PSP fucking was.
Alright.
So
Games were significantly better on PSP than DS.
There weren't a lot to compare to.
I understood because it took a
I
lot to fucking
think
make those
if the Wii is still up here and there's a Switch conversation, that the Switch should stay 100%. I
Yes.
agree with you. So I'm down. We're sort of in a moment where Simmons is missing a turn. We're all just trying to figure out how to get the top 10 right now. What's comfortable for top 10?
I'm fine.
I am nominating the Wii off of here for no top 10.
Okay.
I'm willing to say I want the Wii to. I prefer the Switch to get closer, or maybe
compared to
maybe.
the
You
Switch-
attacked the Switch first.
I know I
Compared
did
to the
because I didn't
Switch,
realize the Wii was still fucking up here.
I can't in good conscience, like, say it was like, well, which one gets to be, on it between Switch and Wii? I can't,
It's the fucking Switch.
I can't in good conscience say the Wii was better than the Switch. Maybe more no, not even more impactful. Switch has outsold the Wii now, so I would gut the Wii before.
We can't talk about sales. We can't talk about sales.
True, couldn't talk about yeah.
We're
so
talking about like overall gameplay experiences.
the best thing about the Wii is that you could buy to own the old games, including games that didn't even get released here sometimes.
Yeah.
So that is amazing. That was amazing. But
Saturn's not going anywhere.
that shop's gone now, anyways.
They'll never
So
let
anyways,
Saturn go. They'll
just
kick me
raw
out of the
brass
house
tacks.
before.
To me, like the
getting Saturn.
for example,
Come on.
just
It's not gonna
gonna
happen.
throw it out here. I'm gonna get a visual aid. To me, the ultimate evolution.
Jeez, man.
fucking-
Those tangled cords.
To me, the ultimate evolution of what this fucking was. I'm just sitting here playing Zelda, doing this shit. The ultimate evolution is to eventually have two normal ass Joy-Con controllers in each hand that are way more comfortable. Right? To me, so much of what the Switch is taking the idea your controllers go with you, they don't have to be connected.
There's not this cord
no
in
fucking
between.
cord and shit in between. It was like this aspect of just like playing a game, sitting down and chilling, each hand doing this
plus
thing.
the Joy-Cons actually have all the buttons.
Yes.
Like,
And for
that-
some
that
reason,
are
this was
missing-
mitigated. Like,
Yeah.
games were like, dude, Tatsunoko versus Capcom was like limited with what you do because
Yeah.
the fucking of what they had to have less buttons because of it was showing up on a Wii. So to me, it's like
Stop controller talking, Max.
I love. Huh?
He's talking.
Oh shit!
He's talking about controllers.
Oh shit! Shut
He's
the fuck up.
talking about
Take the Wii off.
controllers.
Take the Wii off.
No controller
wait.
talk.
all right, so
Take the Wii off.
Wii's gone.
Damn.
I did it twice,
Yeah, you get into
bro.
it.
Broke the decree.
All right, Kenny,
I
you're
got
up.
stuck.
Going in that controller.
Didn't even need to talk about it.
Right?
All right, we have two more systems we have to make out here. Steve.
Kenny
Steve and,
goes.
I was just saying, Steve and Kenny. Let's start looking at this realistically. We all kind of agree. Super NES, that's a top 10.
Oh, yeah, ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, we fucking know that. PS1,
SNES ain't going anywhere.
PS1, bro.
I think
Of course.
it'd be hard to argue.
PS1, PS2, obviously top fucking 10. PS4, we start really thinking about it. Holy shit, dude. Dreamcast, no fucking shit. DS, at least for me, yes.
No, keep going. Keep going.
I know there might be some contention here.
No, it's not that, but I'm just saying that Saturn and the Dreamcast, seems kind of interesting.
Very different.
So it's going to be very difficult to get this off of this list in general.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying
But-
why are both.
But just speaking out loud.
Okay.
Switch, very high contender for top 10, right? Maybe could
Why is
possibly
PS1
make it
and
up
2
there.
here? Same argument.
If Switch makes top 10, it'll probably be 10.
Nah, I can
PS2,
see a couple other.
PS2, that's not moving. NES, we could maybe have a conversation there. Saturn,
Maybe not.
I can understand there maybe could be a conversation there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I fucking love it. I
Okay.
have my story begins on this system, so I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Okay.
But I would like to see it be top 10. But I think there's a conversation. I want this motherfucker.
You know
on
what's
there, dude.
fucked up? I think there's a conversation.
PS1 and Saturn.
I think there's a conversation for NES, Saturn, and Game Boy. The only problem is that they're all Simmons' picks.
And here's the thing.
You know what? If NES doesn't make it, NES doesn't make it.
Okay.
Look,
Because it's like you said, SNES is just better.
Right.
In every
single fucking way.
single category,
Yes.
SNES is just a better NES.
how we cut off Genesis to Super Nintendo, it's the same thing from PS1 to Saturn.
Yeah, what they were offering was very different, though. Like what their library was so different. But
You could love something and and let it go.
I know that's the.
Yeah, well, I mean, are we making this argument now?
Yeah, what are we.
Where are we arguing?
Kenny,
about?
Kenny, what are you doing?
Who's up?
I was just promoting. I was just talking.
Yes, Kenny.
What are you doing, Kenny?
What the fuck? Did you erase another one?
Nah, what are we arguing right now? What's it?
Yeah, I have no idea.
What's the argument?
Kenny, what's going
I
on?
lost my train of thought.
It's tough.
Awkward silence. The cold, hard silence.
PSP, I mean,
PSP, one of the greatest video
You
game
can hear-
systems.
Yeah, because here's the
marker
when
drop.
you
tell
remove.
us your story of the Saturn before we let it go.
Before we let it go, but me and Simmons are going to argue it to stay at the top 10.
Yeah. Because here's the thing.
But you said you could it's not a top.
But I would definitely argue it over something else that's on there. I would definitely maybe even argue it. I don't think
Even with its legacy, I think this has a much stronger overall library than the Game Boy. The Game Boy is incredible.
I would argue Saturn over the Game Boy.
And it was around forever, which I didn't even get to that fact.
What games were on the Saturn? Was it online?
Yes.
Yes, actually, it was like one of the first online systems there was.
But the online was shit.
No, the online was barely functional because at that point people barely had internet at all.
That was your Final.
No, dude.
Fantasy Star.
No, it's not.
That's not Fantasy
It's not
Star.
that. Saturn is that shit right there. Saturn's all
Saturn.
that
Jesus
shit.
Christ.
Look at
they're not getting reset.
look at all this shit.
Look at the fucking wall, chat.
I'm just
Tell
saying.
you to see the
I am just
fucking
gonna start
wall.
throwing out some names.
Oh, good lord.
MK Trilogy. You couldn't even get this on PlayStation, my dude.
Yeah.
Ultimate
You couldn't
MK3.
even get it on PlayStation. You couldn't even get this on PlayStation either.
The best version of MK2.
Best versions. Daytona USA, Street Fighter Alpha, Alpha 2, X-Men Tomb of the End, Marvel Superheroes.
It was
by the
the
way,
arcade.
By the way, all
Okay,
these
okay,
games were on
PSP.
PlayStation. They sucked.
Okay.
This was the arcade.
This is the true.
Saturn.
This was the true arcade. Is only
Saturn is the arcade.
Saturn is.
PSP.
Let's just break this down really quick. What is the Sega Saturn? The ultimate 2D system.
Yeah.
It is the best 2D system, straight up. Of all the systems that had existed back then, functional, capable 2D games, like working and operating in front of your face, it's like the last generation of 2D before it goes away. And it was the best. It was like, not the 3D was
until Tekken 3, Virtua Fighter 2 was by far the greatest 3D fighter on console. Until Tekken 3 got there, years later.
All right.
I don't think you guys are convinced of the chat at all.
They've never played it. This is the
played it.
eternal
Never
struggle
Yeah,
of being a Saturn fan is knowing how great it was
problem
and
is-
no one else knowing.
This has no mark. It's not a PlayStation, dude. It's not a modern system with a Sony brand.
Right,
on
it is the arcade.
It's a part of a long lost legacy of things that will be forgotten forever unless we take a stand right fucking now.
Damn, they taking a stand right here, right now, chat. Okay, so then
PSP.
No.
Well, okay, but Steve, PSP, without any ability to soft mod
Best
that
PSP
thing at
games
all.
go. Convince us.
Just the games that came out on
we
it.
know that system-wise, it's a cool-ass system. I love
cool
the
ass
UI functionality, but outside of your ability to like hack the shit out of it,
Okay.
name me some amazing-ass PSP games.
it had SOCOM. I think it was like SOCOM. It wasn't not confrontation.
I got a few
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Power Stone Collection.
Mega Man collection. Mega Man collection.
Man.
Power Stone.
Collection?
Yes, Mega Man collection was fucking
We're not
god.
gonna-
You're talking about the Mega Man remix.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We're talking about this.
I'm a collection.
The
on
X
but
and
you're
the
talking
regular
about-
collections run.
You're talking about like Maverick Hunter and Powered Up.
Yeah. Monster Hunter. Tekken. Crisis
Tekken.
Core.
Fucking
Final Fantasy
Tekken,
War of the
Jesus
Lions.
Christ.
Like Dissidia. Yes.
I actually enjoyed
Metal Gear.
Oh God, what is her name? She's the blonde chick in the SquareSoft game. She's
Steve loves Parasite Eve the third
I actually
birthday.
enjoyed that
He
shit.
loves the third birthday.
I like her birthday.
He loves third
I thought it was
birthday.
okay.
This-
Holy shit, and God of War,
birthday,
and God of War. It had God of War.
Peace Walker.
It had fucking Vice City Stories. Get the fuck out of here. It had Vice City Stories, bro. Man, stop it. Nah, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
Well, okay, so Kenny
It had
voted.
Soul Calibur?
It did.
I did. That's
Kenny
what Broken
voted to
Destiny.
Kenny voted to cut it. I'll vote to cut it. What say you, Max? We stalemating it, or are you voting to cut it?
Max, you just named 1,000 fucking games on this system.
I did.
And they were all fucking godlike in that system. And don't forget, what is it, Street Fighter Alpha Max?
Save.
Alpha 3 upper.
Yeah.
Alpha 3 upper max.
fucking
Yes.
Giving you a
amazing.
chance right now.
Fucking godlike.
Give me your best PSP story.
My best
I want
PSP.
something personal.
My best PSP
Can't
story.
involve hacking.
Yes, I know that. Fuck. Best PSP story was me being able to revisit Mega Man X the way that it was intended to, with the animation and the gameplay refined, and Yes, the Maverick Hunter. Yes. And seeing what the devs really wanted that game to be for the first time, I think that was fucking magical because it showed that they actually cared about the game, but they weren't able to put it on the main system, but they were able to put it on a system that they knew people would still enjoy that.
I hated that game. Take it off.
You hated Maverick Hunter?
I did not like Maverick Hunter, bro. I thought it sort of like betrayed Mega Man X, and it's like this is just a soulless like 3D remake. It doesn't have any of the charm. I didn't like it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I did not like it. Sorry, take off the PSP.
You didn't like the Maverick Hunter?
I did not like the 3D remakes of like Mega Man 1
No,
and
not
shit.
3D remakes. You know the Maverick, dude. Chat, they fucking made Mega Man X. I'm talking about Mega Man X, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Mega Man X Maverick Hunter.
It's 3D. It's a 2.5 3D-ish remake. Am I thinking of something crazy different, chat? No. It had 3D visuals. Yes.
Yeah,
it looked bad.
It was great. It was fucking great.
To me, it was like, why would I ever play this over Mega Man X?
Because it looked better and it played better.
I completely disagree.
Oh my God.
Let's just remake Chrono Trigger.
No, right, but that's if they did it bad. I'd go back and play that game and I said I had fun. And I still remember the cutscenes too were fucking godlike as well.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucking amazing.
I do not.
And the voice acting was fucking perfect
I think there's
too.
a genuinely really good reason. I just showed you I owned 2 PSPs.
Yes,
I
I know.
actually had 3. I don't have the other one blew the fuck out.
Yeah.
So all things considered, there's a reason why that system got as close and as far as it did because dude, in the era, in the time frame where Nintendo was the king and dominator of every fucking handheld system that had ever goddamn existed, N-Gage and otherwise, like, Nintendo was the king, and suddenly Sony was like, we're putting a PlayStation 2 for the most part in your pocket. We're gonna give you something that, like, will feel like you're playing PS2 games in your fucking pocket.
No, their exact word was, we are taking handheld gaming out of the ghetto, I believe was Sony's exact.
That's perfect. Yeah, you're some ghetto-ass bitch if you have a DS or a game. Jesus Christ, you no money having ghetto-ass bitch. Get a PSP.
I believe that was the words.
Watch
it
this
might have been
swirl.
gutter, but it was one of the two.
Look at
I remember
this
there was a
swirl.
lot of side-eyeing at that E3 or whatever.
Look at this swirl
when they
commercial.
said that, and they were like,
Look at this shit. So I think there's a reason why PSP lasted as long as it did on this system.
Yeah.
But I mean, do I think PSP should go over NES? No. There's much too much personal affiliation with the Saturn, which is why I was going to boil it down to, like, if Steve gives me a really fucking good story of why he's so attached to this system, it sold me. And I think that Maverick Hunter game sucks.
if you think that statement was wild, look up the PSP white
Oh, we've
billboard
seen
in
that.
Europe.
Yeah, the white, the black
wanna
lady.
do it.
Yeah, whatever. Billboard, it's gone. We're talking about the past. She's left.
She's gone. How many do we have left? We still have to cut one more,
We have
right?
to cut one more. Now we could go back. We can do this as a crew. These were kind of on the chopping block.
Oh, NES or Game Boy?
And the thing is, we agreed that there's Super NES.
Yeah.
And, like, as a system, yes, this is the reason why we're all here today.
Hey, you know what? I think we're also.
But
I personally put NES over Game Boy. However, I think we're glossing over a fact that this motherfucker created handheld gaming.
Yes.
Like, this bitch literally made it. Like, there didn't exist. Like,
And then reinvented itself nearly 10 years later with Pokemon.
So I think we're like, this is a situation of reflection. We're sort of glossing over the idea that, like, oh yeah, you know, you walking around and not being bound to your television was sort of a big deal.
and also-
Even though I don't like that.
yeah, but also too, because like when we talk about the NES, like the Super Nintendo was so much bigger and it allowed to have such a more variety and bigger type of games. This is purely on like impact. When the Super Nintendo allowed you to have much bigger and way more different adventures and stuff like
For
that.
anybody saying to Sega Saturn, we're about to play the year of Saturn. We're about I'm just telling you, we're gonna play Sega Saturn games for the next 6 years. Every game that will ever come out, FF7 Rebirth Part 3, whatever, that shit's gonna take and leak. Dude, we have to play Mr. Bones for a 6th time.
Bones!
Like, it's sorry.
Let me add to Game Boy.
Sorry,
Let me add to Game Boy.
I'm sorry.
This thing came out at under $100. It was like $90.
It was cheap,
right?
too.
And the games were cheaper. So when you didn't have money, you and your family didn't have money to throw around, Game Boy, because it was supported and lasted all the way into 2000, technically, you were able to trade, to get games, to like have stuff. You were able to experience more on the Game Boy because they decided they were not going to fuck over the market
You know
with
what?
high expensive technology. Switch to they were like, you know what? Maybe we'll just sell them we'll sell them something that they can afford and like pass around, and like that shit lasted for over a decade.
I'm just gonna throw this out here too because it does seem like Simmons is trying to also make us avoid this one. There's an attempt happening here. I could see through.
I'm
this
just saying,
dubiousness.
NES
I
over
could
Game.
see.
I'm saying get rid of NES. Get rid of NES.
I
think Game Boy has a little more. Game Boy has a little more impact
Steven,
than NES.
do you think the Switch should stay over the NES or the Game Boy?
I don't even care anymore.
Bro, you have to care.
I don't even care
Steven,
anymore.
we care about you. We care about you.
You killed PS3.
Steve.
And you killed PS2.
Steve, are we gonna start talking about the PS2 coming off here now?
Hashtag free Steve. Hashtag no justice for Steve. Hashtag justice for Steve. Hashtag Steve was right.
So the PS2 should come off.
Hashtag Steve was
Here we go.
right.
Steve egged it on.
right,
Let's start talking about the
hashtag
PS2 coming off right now.
Justice for Steve.
Let's start talking about why the PS2 should
Hashtag
come off right now. Let's start have the conversation
Free
why
the
the
Steve.
Saturn's better than the PS2. Let's go. Let's do this.
Hashtag.
Arcade perfect X-Men vs Street Fighter.
Can we talk about how, like, even though like there's a whole bunch of
It's
2D
okay.
games that would eventually come out on the PS2, they actually were better on the fucking Saturn.
Here's the thing, I'm being swayed, even though
I got rid of PSP, guys.
I have the Switch. It's
PS3.
probably my least played console out of almost all of these, but still,
How
like,
many hours do you have on Animal Crossing?
Animal
Are there
Crossing,
even
yeah, for
consoles
sure.
on here anymore? There's no even
That's-
consoles.
Steve, we need your help. Simmons is over here trying to get the Switch over the
Why
NES
did
and the
you?
Game Boy.
What
There's
was
not
this
even consoles
pivot
on
to
here.
just to nuke the Switch when we were having an
See,
argument?
you're mad about
on
it.
NES
I know, because
Game
you were
Boy.
trying to get us to have that argument over there.
We were about to get to top 10.
I know.
I need
I
to
know.
defend the NES's honor for some reason.
That's exactly what you want. I know, Steven, we need your
It's
help here,
fine.
dude. Steve, Simmons is trying to put the Switch on
We
the
can
best
gut
ever.
the NES, and Steve wanted to gut the NES, so you know what?
Yeah,
we
Steve,
can gut
Steve,
the NES.
that was what you wanted, right? We're gonna put the Switch over the NES, right?
Which one?
Fuck the Game Boy.
Fuck the Game Boy over the Switch.
Yeah. Get it out of here.
And I would, I
Get it out.
don't know if I agree on that.
Simmons? Game Boy over Switch. Make a choice.
It's the fucking Game Boy, dude.
Switch is a better system.
Wow.
Switch is a better system than
Yeah,
Game Boy.
it also-
Switch has a better library.
Yeah, sure. I
So
get it.
Game Boy would get cut in that scenario.
There you
Yeah,
go.
if we're using that logic,
you go.
Switch to Simmons. What Simmons wants is that the Switch is making top 10, right?
I don't see why it shouldn't.
I think there's.
I mean, I agree with you.
I think there is a reason
All
why
right,
it
all
can
right,
stay.
but why are you fighting for the NES to stay so hard?
Because it's the NES. I don't know.
Yes, okay.
I think I would.
I am just shocked you're not gung ho on getting rid of the DS. I don't get that. You had to buy how many of those systems because of the shitty
So
L1?
hold up. Right now,
Ooh,
But that's a functionality thing, bro.
all right, hold on.
That's
We're
defect.
in a fucking stalemate between the Switch and the stupid ass Game Boy.
The Switch. No, we're pretty much.
I'm just saying get rid
the
of NES.
floating argument right now is NES, Game Boy,
Switch.
DS. That just got also added to the conversation.
Why is the DS even in the conversation at this point?
Yeah.
DS is great, but you know.
Okay.
That's 3. There you go.
I'd say the DS can go.
That's 3 max.
New Super Mario Bros. Is fun two-player. I give you that. And Mario Kart was good. I give you that.
The
Best
Nintendo-
version of Chrono Trigger. I give it that.
I'll give the DS credit. Like the only thing about the DS that I'm really propagating the most of it is that I played it more than any handheld I've ever played. It's just there's too many like weird and interesting games and first party stuff and shit like that. Like
Oh, gee, like the fucking PSP?
the functionality of having two screens work between each other, touch screen.
Really,
And
I
also
Castlevania
realize-
a lot.
We also got to like talk about how touch screen gaming. It's like the first beginning of that. It's
Yeah.
like literally the dawn of it.
But how many games besides?
Yeah, nobody does that anymore.
Generally, a few.
Well, like
nobody does that anymore.
Nobody does that shit anymore. Come
Yeah,
on.
that
Touch
doesn't exist
screen.
anymore.
Yeah, let's do touchscreen gaming. The fuck does that?
Steve is carrying a touchstone in his pocket.
Steve says to cut the
That's not
DS.
gaming. That's a fucking
Steve says to cut the
phone.
DS. Kenny says to cut the DS.
What are
I'm
you
like,
talking about?
Okay,
Touchscreen
I'm like, all right,
gaming?
cut the DS, I
The
guess.
DS? Okay.
I guess.
Name the last video game that you did touchscreen on with your stylus, Max.
It was on the system.
Yeah.
Game Boy?
You said what game does that now? You said, oh yeah, games do still do that.
Steve, literally everything on your phone, bro.
That's not a game. That's my phone.
Okay.
I'm not playing fucking mobile games. I don't play mobile games.
Okay.
I don't think too many people out here, but even
Right,
there's a big argument about
let's-
even mobile games
let's
even
just
being
say-
real games.
Like,
They're 51% of the market.
There you go.
I'm not even arguing the market, but like, I think completely, yes, most mobile games are trash, right? But we're also talking about literally 1 billion games. And how many things that have been ported or attempted to be ported are games that work way better on mobile, that can work way better on
And
mobile.
you're talking-
It's almost like classic RPGs like Final Fantasy Tactics and Chrono Trigger were literally made for mobile phones.
Are you really arguing, those gimpy little puzzle games that you get to use with your stylus
dude,
versus Bloodborne?
Steve, your brain is literally stuck in 2009 thinking about mobile gaming.
Yeah. Which is, yeah, I get to do this. Oh no, never mind.
Steve, I'm cutting the rope on you right here. Stop, because you actually have a younger chat where the entirety of their life is mobile gaming.
Mobile gaming.
And the fact that you can play Fortnite on your phone and shit like that.
You can play Call of Duty.
You play Call of Duty.
You can play,
and
you
it's
can
a
also just hook
completely
up-
different game.
You can also just hook up a controller and play them.
Yes.
And that's not what I'm talking about when
But that is mobile gaming.
Okay.
But again, your perspective is coming from literally 15 years ago. You're thinking of Angry Birds, my dude.
Okay, but I'm telling you that the fact that you just said, oh, you could use a controller when we're arguing about stylus, which is what the argument was for DS.
No controller talk.
Shit.
No controller talk.
Yeah.
No
So
controller
my argument
talk.
is that the way
No controller
you
talk.
play those games on the it's gone.
No controller talk. Because three of us agreed. Kenny, Steve, and me all agreed. We just-
It turned into dust all of a sudden, bitch.
And now it's gone.
Now it's gone.
now
All right, we have a top 10.
Yeah, the top 10.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a good top 10.
It's pretty good. Actually, it's,
It's
not
actually a
bad.
good top 10.
Actually, it's not bad. It's decent.
Is it?
All right, so our top 10 in no associated order. I'm just gonna switch around a whole bunch here. Switch, Game Boy, Xbox 360, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 4, Sega Saturn, Nintendo Entertainment System. I never heard of it. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System, some weird thing from another country. The Dreamcast, the best video game system ever, and the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good top 10.
That's a good top 10.
That's going to be a good top 10.
We'll be
is so
back
happy right
about approximately 3 weeks from now, chat. We're going to go on hiatus until we write the script, so I appreciate you guys being here.
Stay in the
Until
chat.
then, we are going to, just go on a bit of a sabbatical across the world to investigate our feelings, our emotions, and when we come back, we are going to revisit this top 10 and give you an actual top 10. So with that being said, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.
Bye.
All right, so the top 10 games, let's write them out.
Yeah, top 10 systems. What?
What the hell?
Did you not go on sabbatical?
Yeah, I was gone for like 7 years.
I toured the world.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you got a new perspective.
Holy crap. You see Thailand?
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm not time.
Oh shit.
Jack Duck Tie.
Well,
The tea was so
I
good.
want some Thai food.
Let's see who'll kill you.
Damn. One. Ugh. Ah! Is that gonna fit?
It's artistic.
Oh god. Oh my
You like
god.
the sound?
Jesus.
You're not gonna be able to erase that.
Shut up, kidding.
Sure, coming soon.
Yeah, that's going to be permanent.
Where's the sock? You have to spit on it
Let's
for at
just-
least 7
let's
hours.
Just give you some paint. You might as well.
You're gonna spit on that lift.
No,
You got it?
no, I'm a problem.
Well, you got it. Well, you got
I'm a problem solver.
Oh, there. Oh, nice. Perfect. You know what? That looks just brilliant.
artistic.
That works.
What happened to the one? All right. Okay.
There it is, chat.
Saturn at number 10.
There it is.
I'd say Game Boy at number 10.
Saturn at number 10.
I was gonna argue switch at number 10.
100%, bro.
Switch?
I literally said that before.
You know
I
what?
said
You
if
know
Switch
what?
is gonna make it, it'll probably be number 10. Simmons was
I don't-
arguing that.
We got outvoted. Two, because I said Game Boy, he said Saturn.
Oh, shit.
You two said Switch, so Switch has to win. So
All right.
there it
Simmons,
is.
but
Switch
I'm
at
just
10.
curious.
What?
Would you have argued the Switch over the Sega Saturn?
I don't like you.
Damn.
Look, guys,
I'm not just saying where in the list it shows up, but just above it or below it.
Above it. I would argue above it.
Okay.
I would argue.
So
There you go.
I think we have our first 2 games.
Switch and Saturn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, with that being said,
Then Game Boy.
the Switch is the home to some game. I'm about to put it on here. We haven't talked about it. The Switch is home to like some video game, some Smash Brothers game that looks
Whatever.
like some shitty ass Smash game that nobody ever plays.
Never heard of
This Mario Kart game that sucks. We never talk about Switch games. There's a Breath of the Assholes game.
Yeah.
Never really heard of it. We never done a list on it either. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
But Simmons has these games on it that he likes. I think.
Yeah. So Switch is 10.
Switch.
Alright. What's 9?
What's
Saturn.
9?
You said Saturn.
Boys,
Kenny says Saturn.
boys, let me tell you a story.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Let me tell you a story. It's the
Uh-oh.
year 1994, 1995.
Oh, here we go.
A young peppy child
Oh, geez.
is wanting to make money in some way.
Damn.
To a 40 video game system. His favorite things are fighting games and Sega arcade games, and he's doing anything to wait for the N64. Because the N64 is going to have Killer Instinct, it's going to have crazy 3D graphics in Mario. N64 is where it's at, we're waiting. Never came. N64 was delayed. You guys remember this? N64 was delayed.
Delayed a whole year.
It was almost like it was never going to come out. My ass was an adult. I felt like I'd grown my entire childhood years. It was gone. So with that being said, I went down to the golf course. I was earning as much money as I possibly can, picking up golf balls from rich old guys, just whacking them into the yard. And I made as much money as I could in the summer. I bought a Sega fucking Saturn at the end of it. I bought a Sega Saturn, and I bought Virtua Cop with guns.
Yeah.
And I played Virtua Cop until I could afford more games, and then Virtua Fighter came out, Virtua Fighter 2. So with that being said, I love the Saturn. I have literally a giant collection of Saturn games right over there. The games are fucking beautiful.
It's a large collection, Chad. It's a pretty big. It's a pretty big collection. Just a tad bit. It's pretty up there.
Look how fucking
It's a lot of games.
shit. Look at this.
Show the chat. Show
this
Show
fucking
them. Don't show me.
Look how pretty
Show
this
them.
shit is, dude. Look how pretty these fucking games
Guys got a big library.
are. Works of art, dude.
guys-
Like, you don't get any shit like this. Fully colored manuals and shit, my dude. Like, what the fuck are we talking
A lot of
about,
games,
man?
it's a lot of games.
So, there's so much shit up here. It literally makes me want to spit.
Oh,
I'm
God.
sitting out here, like, trying to convince you that this fucking system literally had goddamn everything on it, dude. Like, literally fucking vibrant animation.
Simmons got some
Sitting
too, Chad.
Yes.
Simmons got some too. There it is.
It was home to like some of the greatest fucking games that nobody ever knew about. It was some of the sickest fucking games I knew we'll never ever see, and they'll never be ported
There it is.
ever
Yep,
again.
he's
There's
still
just
going.
no fucking way.
He's still going.
Literally built my goddamn childhood.
Nice,
It's number
nice.
9. Put it up there.
Nice.
I would have argued it higher, but
Nice. Wasn't it the first console to have online? It was the first.
No, Genesis
no.
technically was.
Genesis had the X band. No, well, and television is the first two. Technically.
But actual functional gameplay, like people were playing. It's right there. People were playing Sega Rally and Virtual
Netlink.
On the Netlink. Like, dude, I'm gonna fucking.
Saturn.
It's too big, dude.
He's not too
Oh,
big.
don't what? Oh God.
Watch out for that 3-stick.
Hey, it's dusty, bro.
All right.
Kenny, don't you fucking.
Yeah, don't do anything.
This is my time.
Yeah. Let him
This is my
shine.
moment.
With this dusty ass
Piece
fucking
of
old
shit.
ass fucking console that he never opened.
Literally, this is just a collectible. This bitch, where can we carbon date this motherfucker? Damn, that guy got a deal, dude.
God,
149.
Okay.
This shit.
Oh
It's
man.
literally online. The web had a web browser.
Jesus.
Like, dude, oh my god, it's still sealed.
No, but it was on the N60. No, it was on the Dreamcast that we looked up the Blue Waffle, right? Not this system.
No, that was the blue waffle on the Dreamcast.
World Wide Web!
World Wide Web.
Look at this, dude.
He doesn't even-
Excite. Excite.
It's still sealed. He doesn't even know if there's like a bunch of rocks in there.
There could be rocks.
There could be rocks in there. He has no idea what the hell is in there.
Oh my god. It was not cheap, by the way. This system was heavily discounted, but you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll put this back.
Yeah. You blow off the top.
No.
What goes, Game Boy or NES?
Damn it.
I'd say NES.
Number 8?
Yeah, I'd say NES at 8. I'd say NES at 9, honestly, but NES at 8.
Game Boy, I'm gonna put over NES. Both crazy influential systems. But when you had when the Game Boy came out and you had it, it was a statement. The thing is, it wasn't even that expensive, but for the time, like, if you had one, it was an event.
Yeah.
Holy cow! He's got a system in his hand.
How many people watched over someone's shoulder?
That was the first Twitch streams. The first Twitch streams ever was the Game Boy.
Now, I would argue, dude,
No, that was the first Twitch streams ever.
Kenny, our first experience with this system is going into some friend's house, into their parents' living room, and everyone just like,
No, but yeah,
Well,
but
it's while the
they had,
dude
like
plays.
2 players and stuff like that. But you were out and you had a bunch of kids. Oh, oh, oh!
I'm
yeah.
not making this up.
You remember? Wait.
Yeah.
You remember when the Game Boy couldn't see it in the
Alright.
sun, and you needed that little
That was awful,
adapter
bro.
on top. You had to.
The glare was the
glare.
worst.
So you needed a glare fucking camera
Yeah.
or like a glare light that covered the Game Boy on the top, so you
Yes.
could actually see the damn thing.
The first time
He's
I
just going.
saw,
He's just doing
Kenny,
this.
you're
right,
just
he's
doing
putting
shit.
stuff.
We're
You're
talking
you gotta
over
wait
here,
until
dude.
you finish,
It's
man.
disrespectful.
Wait, everybody agrees.
We
You
just
guys just do that
agreed.
shit. You just agreed.
I agreed. The first time I saw this system,
This man's jumping the gun again.
I went to a family relatives who lived far away in a forested area, and he was my great uncle, and his name was Stan. And all of that is true, and that is how my first time seeing an NES was at my grunkle Stan's house up in the woods. I'm not even kidding.
But okay, Nintendo stories. First time I ever played. Okay, Kenny, don't you fucking put it there right now. Nintendo stories. I literally lived on a cul-de-sac in a typical American like suburb type shit. Like this is literally what's that show called? What's the fucking 80s show? Nostalgia show with scary shit.
Goosebumps.
no, Are You Afraid of the Dark? You're not thinking.
Stranger Things. You know, like the visual imagery that Stranger
A
Things
show
sets up.
about the 80s.
So
not from the
again,
80s.
like
About the
childhood was literally a Stranger Things literal era, like not apartment, but like cul-de-sac, typical suburb shit. And a friend, because we were only allowed to go like so far.
Right.
You can only go so far. Parents won't let you go that far. And it was on the cusp of it. Never been to this person's house before, but we knew that they lived around here, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So everyone just sort of went to people's houses and stuff. And yes, friend came over to our cul-de-sac. Friend has a Nintendo. Our friend has a Nintendo. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, this is like an arcade game? Like, does he have an arcade machine? Like, no. He has a Nintendo. So we all jump on our bikes, like 5 kids, to his house, knock on his door. The parents are like, oh, he's upstairs. It was literally in his parents' room.
Yeah.
So we went up to this person's place we've never been to before, into their parents' room, and he's playing Mario Brothers. And we're just like... And we eventually passed the controller around. I couldn't even know what the fuck I was doing. Just like pressing shit. Like, what the hell? So, yeah, this is just a commercial. This was the way we lived. Like, almost all of us have a story like that of like growing up in like an 80s to 90s suburb.
It's not necessarily a great movie, but have you seen the 80s NES Christmas movie with Neil Patrick Harris?
No.
Because they have this whole setup where this kid gets the power glove. So all these kids ride their bikes and congregate out front of this kid's house.
There's a reason.
And
it's
he
written
like
that way,
comes
dude.
out and like delegates who gets to watch him play the NES. Like he's got a power glove. They go and then he plays the power glove there, and then we realize something that day the power glove sucks.
Yeah, nobody had the power glove. No, I knew nobody.
I saw
had
one. No, I saw one kid who did, and he was like, it was a rich motherfucker. And then we tried playing like Mario 3 on it, and I was like, this thing sucks. So
Don't forget about Rob.
Oh, I had that.
Yeah, Rob.
That was the first one that my parents gave me.
That was a.
So anyway,
cool little thing.
I don't know if anybody else has just as fascinating like NES stories or if it emulates that in some way, but yeah, this is like 1989.
I had a Rob.
sounds about
Hey,
right.
that's 1989,
that's the one-
89,
My parents got
My
me.
bitch ass is like 6 or 7. Like, it is fucking a long time ago.
So what's 7?
Wait, are we unanimous on NES being 8?
Yeah.
Max?
Want it higher? I can erase it.
Yeah. So here's let me look over here.
Really, the only thing you're going to argue is Game Boy on that.
Yes.
Yeah. You want
Game Boy should be 8 and NES should be 7.
What do you say, Max?
I say NES 8.
I say NES 8.
Wait. Xbox 360, the Switch.
Already got the Switch at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, so it's cross.
That's why-
Can you actually cross those out for me, Kenny? Because I'm
Yeah.
so broad
Okay,
stroke
cool.
looking.
That's why I put a little mark on
Yeah,
there.
dude, just no. Erase it. You gotta cross it.
Oh,
Erase it. Yeah, you need to do one of those.
okay. My bad.
It's right there.
I don't know what we're gonna do right now.
It's over.
I don't know what we can do.
You just destroy the whole thing.
I don't know if we, he's writing it back.
How does he do that? How did he do that?
It's magic.
What the fuck?
The Switch. I know it's gone again. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Crossed out.
Okay.
Xbox 360, PS4, PS1. That's going far. Super NES is going far. You know what? Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess in terms of like what does this shit for us as human individuals, as walking meat piles with thoughts and memories. I think Steve, Game Boy's number 7, right?
No.
What's number 7?
NES.
NES.
At Game Boy.
Well, me and Kenny are NES at 8 is good.
Yeah. So Steve, you would argue NES is above Game Boy, and we're agreeing that these two spots belong.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
To Game Boy and NES.
Well,
Right?
it's really just what do you say?
Yeah.
Between the two, where would you rank them?
I'm fine either way, but I just,
He's Kenny.
I put NES over Game Boy. Unfortunately.
So
NES would be 7.
So you two are NES over Game Boy. Kenny is
Game Boy over NES.
Flexible.
I'm flexible.
Stop doing this shit.
I'm a little more hardcore.
Hands, yeah.
But if that's how it's gonna go, that's how it's gonna go. Because I'm a little more hardcore. Like NES below Game Boy. I think Game Boy it stuck around longer. It had more just general impact.
And like just talking about the NES in general, it like saved video games.
Yeah.
Like, literally,
Yeah, it did.
there's no video games would not be where they're at.
I don't know if
without
this argument's
the NES.
huge enough to really fight between 7 and 8.
Because they both, either one can go in those spots, but I would personally vouch for NES edging out Game Boy.
I just I've had better memories with NES than
Me too.
Game Boy.
And that's pretty much it. Like my impression of Game Boy is that outside of like maybe some games, all the games on NES are better than
100%.
they are on Game Boy.
And I remember
That's me.
being so disappointed with the fact that the damn thing was in black and white when I've already played colored games on fucking NES.
Yeah, we're playing a black and white system. Like it was kind of funny.
And I couldn't see it in the sun, and I needed a fucking giant cord to connect to my friend so I could play the game. And if I could be wrong, if I'm not, I needed 2 copies of the game to play a 2-player game.
Play Link player, yeah.
No, like that is not a good system for. It's a top 10 because it started the revolution of the fucking online hell.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
We deviated pretty hard there. We were talking about Game Boy.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
You said online.
No, it started the revolution of handheld
Okay.
Game Boy.
Yeah, I get you. And that's where most gaming exists now, is in a handheld space. I get you.
Yeah.
But it's like, in that way, I think there's a more significant event that precedes that, and it's the fact that the Nintendo set that up to even exist.
Right, and that's good. That's good.
And to me, the crux of the entire situation is that my visualization of the Game Boy is just inferior NES games.
Yeah.
Like some are good, some are pretty unique to the system, and
That
are good.
was the early days, and then
It's true, and that's
then
where-
they started to just make better games.
Exactly, and that's the problem is that the Game Boy was around for so fucking long.
Yeah.
Like for so long that it's my visual identity, my personal take on the Game Boy is very much associated around the first few years.
Right.
You
So
know?
kind of as the NES started pretty much dying out because they were all in on SNES, they started making really, really good Game Boy games. They started making sequels on Game Boy. Like you had an arguably better Kid Icarus. You had the Metroid sequel. You had better. You had like the best Zelda game.
But
they didn't just make a weaker version of a SNES game for Game Boy. They just made its own original game that was just
At that
fantastic.
point, Sega had already released its handheld, which was in color.
Yeah.
And then
But the games.
And then fucking Game Boy had to like pivot to Game Boy Color just to compete.
They
And
didn't,
it was
but they didn't.
Yeah, Game
They
Boy Color
didn't. They
wasn't
didn't.
even color, chat. It had missing fucking colors on it. It was wild.
It was Game Boy a few colors.
Yeah, it was Game Boy a few colors. It wasn't Game Boy
Are you
Color.
thinking of Super Game Boy?
No.
For the Super NES, Game Boy Color had colors.
Yes, it had colors. It didn't have all colors.
It had as many colors as the Game Gear.
No, that thing was missing fucking colors.
You're thinking of the Super Game Boy.
Am I? Fucking.
Yeah, you're thinking of the Super Game Boy, dude.
I think I have it too. I have to go check. Because you could look at that shit. It had bad colors, yeah. Like, you could tell, like, the thing did not have.
Like, Game Boy
all
Color
the
had
colors.
as many colors as a Master System, or at least a Genesis. So.
Maybe.
So you mean this is literally. You can
I don't remember the
literally
Game
look
Boy
this
Color having that many colors.
Nah, not at
up.
all.
I mean, you can literally look this up. This is scientific. This is a scientific fact.
Like
you can look up.
that Resident Evil Gaiden game? Game Boy Color game, right? Metal Gear.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember this game having many colors.
Well, that's just because of like how they were doing the game.
Yeah.
So then it didn't have any colors.
It's not about the colors. It's about what they chose to put on there.
Well, then that's still the same thing. When you looked at the game, it didn't have all the colors. It looked like shit.
Game Boy Colors was 256 colors. Yeah, again, you can look it up. The Genesis could only output 64 colors at a time.
Okay, but when you saw
or
the
out of a
games,
pool out of like
as
250.
a kid, you don't fucking notice that shit. The only thing you see is that the fucking game doesn't have that many colors.
I think
so you say that the game doesn't have any colors.
Is that the choice of the colors they use. There was no pure reds on like Game Boy games and pure blues. Like
On Color, there was.
On Sonic, I don't remember. Like, for example, like a Sonic Blue on a Game Boy Color. I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Okay. Well,
You could.
I just do not remember seeing it, you know?
And couldn't you actually, like, alter the colors? Like, you can move, like,
You are thinking of the Super Game Boy. You are literally talking about the Super Game Boy, which would just put these color shades, like 2 to 4 on Super.
Yeah, some dumb
the thing
shit.
that was on Super Nintendo.
Yeah. But I also remember that on the Game Boy Color as well.
I didn't know.
No,
I didn't know
it
that
wasn't
was
there.
What, Simmons?
It's not on the Game Boy. You were thinking of the Super
Simmons,
Game Boy.
no,
We're gonna look right now. Let's Google that check.
Give me a game, like an example.
Of Game Boy Color?
Yeah, a GBC game that looks good.
Oracle of Ages and Seasons.
Game Boy Advance is when they really started, like, it
Yeah,
started.
GBA had fucking color.
Yeah, it looked great. And then the DS and the 3DS and all that shit like that were pretty much their own shit.
So
You got that right, Steve was right. I like that guy.
the games like look like this.
Yes.
Woof.
Right. Games like kind of look like that.
Right, and but you look up what like a Super Game Boy game looked like with the supposed color, which would be like a few things.
Yeah, to me, like, so here's the thing. We can agree this is a pastel-y as fuck color palette.
Yeah, I mean that's what they chose.
Yeah, they chose the colors to be that. That's why Steve is arguing.
Yes.
These aren't not like Sonic the Hedgehog blues. And
No,
shit.
no.
And these aren't like pure reds. These
I mean,
are
look up
pretty-
like Shantae's. You know,
Shantae, yeah, let's do that.
I never played that game.
I mean, I know, but we're just gonna show you.
Yeah. Because I remember seeing this. I was like, oh, this doesn't look right.
Yeah, you're right. If the GBC was pumping out like a visual that looks like this, that's
There
pretty
you go.
colorful, bro.
Yeah. And what
Is
system was
is
that?
So you're
Game
saying,
Boy
like,
Color.
yeah, like that's the thing. I just don't remember the majority of games having this vibrant of a color palette.
Well, that's because the system was only around for like 2 years.
Oh well, there you go. I do not remember Game Boy games looking like this. Looks
No,
like
not at all.
this looks like fucking Neo Geo Pocket Color type shit, where it's like
Yes.
the games actually had color. Yeah, no, I legit do not remember any Game Boy game looking like this.
Yeah, not at all.
Any Game Boy Color game.
I own this game. I have a
Prove it
box
wrong.
copy.
Proven wrong. I definitely remember shit looking like this.
Yeah.
And like this. Like there was like they put like a coat of paint over it, but it didn't
Yeah.
really.
I mean, and that's just based off the sort of DX remake of Link's Awakening. It's just running off.
No,
the same.
I did not own a Game Boy Color. No, I definitely did not own a Game Boy Color. I just remember seeing people like playing it and trying it, and I was
We would
just
go to,
like,
like, Blockbuster
not particularly
or-
impressed. I'm like, that's kind of color.
Yeah, we would go to like Blockbuster.
I mean, because
or,
it was just such a stopgap till the Advance. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
it came out in like late '98, and then the Game Boy Advance came out, you know, in 2000 June 2001.
Yo, Blue, thank you. Okay.
If you put an OG game in there, it only has 4 shades to work with. That is also true.
Yeah.
That might be what we're thinking of.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because it's just doing what the Super Game Boy did.
I think that's what our impressions of it mostly was because of that shit. I think that's where my brain is going, where it was like very limited color.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Super Game Boy had that thing where you could like choose which shades.
Yeah.
You could flip a toggle.
It was awful.
And stuff. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that great.
Yeah, GBA was actually like impressive. Like, oh, these are real. These
Yeah,
are like
yeah, that was the
SNES.
beginning.
These are like Super Nintendo games. Like, these
Yeah.
look really good, you know?
And then they had like a giant catalog.
All right. This is crossed off. All right, so I am going to propose
I think this is a battle between 360 and PS1.
PS1.
Or is it 4?
I think it's 4.
Or is it 4?
I think it's. I think we're arguing 5 and 6 is an argument between PS4. I do PS1. Holy shit, dude! It's the library by itself. It's like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I think the battle on 5 and 6 is somewhere between an argument of PS4 and 360. What do you think, Steve? I don't want to put. I don't think PS1 should be.
PS1 needs to be top 5.
Yes. Exactly.
PS1 needs to be top 5.
Right. Okay.
I know you're gonna say Dreamcast, but it isn't gonna work against us.
I never said Dreamcast.
Okay. Sure. I don't know.
So between 360 and PS4,
I don't know you.
I will say this.
You think I'll say that?
I will say this. Overall,
Come on, man.
overall, PS4 is a better system than the 360.
Yeah, I agree.
Overall.
I agree. I think overall it has a better library too.
Yeah.
Better. Oh shit. Oh no. But let's also.
Isn't that what I argued before?
Well, I'm also going to take into account because this is the next generation, and it felt like, just to throw this out, much of what this did, the foundation to be as good as it was set up because of that.
Yeah, that was this. It literally was just
This was the PlayStation,
360.
Xbox
You jumped from 360 to PS4.
Yes, that was the natural transition that everybody made.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's because Xbox literally made that decision easy for everyone.
Yeah. And again, like the PlayStation 4 in many ways was the moment where Sony was actually at a sort of humbled. They were kind of like humiliated because of what happened with the PS3 generation.
Yeah.
They lost a lot of money. It ended up doing fine but it took a long time, dude. It took
It's one of those things where it eventually creeped past the totals.
I'm sorry,
with
chat.
with like discount by the time the system was already dead.
I'm sorry, chat. I know you guys are saying Halo 3, but none of us were really that big on it.
Oh no, Halo 3 was amazing.
I know that, but
it quickly got eclipsed in almost the same year, I think, as Call of Duty.
It got eclipsed 2 months later. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it was close.
Because that came out in like September, and then COD 4 came out in November, and then I saw you playing COD 4.
So,
and I was like, "What is?"
But
this?
I know,
This is
Steve.
shit.
Here's something I just got to throw out. Like COD 4, MW2. I know these games are on both systems, but when you think of like COD 4 and MW2, do you really think PS3?
yeah, of course not.
Okay, you think 360?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, because naturally, I mean, I know we're not talking about controllers, so I'll shut the fuck up.
Ah, here we
Shut the
go.
fuck up.
Here we go. He almost went there, chat. He almost went there.
We would talk
It's
about
so
how
hard.
much.
We gotta start. We gotta do a controller list.
If we were, 360 would have the
If we
best.
were, the 360 would definitely have some talk about like goddamn controller shit because it hasn't been beaten yet.
But here's the thing. When it comes to controllers, you can only say it for specific games. When it comes to like fighters and stuff like that, then you gotta go to another fucking system.
But to be real, like fighters, PS3 100%.
Yeah.
Right? But not all the system is fighting games.
Exactly. And that's fine.
So it's like for 80% of games, the Xbox 360 controller was god tier.
Yeah.
For fighting games, it wasn't. Here's what's weird. The majority of best players around that era used 360 controllers. I don't know how.
I remember seeing that.
I don't
I'm like,
fucking
what the
get it.
hell? How the hell are they doing
I
this?
have no clue
Different
how
generation, man.
people like were playing Street Fighter 4 with some of the best SF4
Those
players,
motherfuckers
or
never
some
went
of the
to
best
arcades.
Marvel 3 players on a fucking 360 pad. Smug is one of them. I don't get it.
Those motherfuckers never went to an arcade. It's a completely different generation.
Yeah, that deep
boggles the mind.
ass.
They fucking just got used
Ass
to
to
something.
ass.
It's the perspective. They just got used to something that they were used to.
I mean, I beat Super Meat Boy with the 360
that's dumb.
pad, and I'm
they
just
got
like,
used to something that was only available to them.
That was the perspective was different.
right. Well, it's like people who got good on Atari. Like that joystick is ass.
I can
But
imagine,
they're used to it.
I can imagine Punk being introduced to Hitbox the first time before using that controller, and he would have been like 10 times worse, you know? So, or 10 times better.
So
Do we have a Kenny? Let me go find out. Let's see if we have a Kenny. Because Kenny's gonna have some shit to say about 360 and PS4. Kenny's gonna have some shit to say. You gotta have to say some shit. Kenny's got some shit to say.
well, I'm saying it's tough, and it's close, but I would put PS4 over 360. You know, 360 at 6, you know? I really like the 360, but I'm like, 360 at 6, PS4 at 5.
I don't know, man.
I could go either way.
I don't know. Like they do such similar things for me personally.
They do basically occupy like the same space.
They really do. Because
Really?
it's like on Xbox 360, it was like the fighting games were the best on 360. PS4 is the same shit. Like literal same shit. All the fighting games were the best on PS4. It had a ton of fighting games and shit. Like, so even that part is there.
Except KI.
PS4, Xbox 360, right? You're there. All the goddamn shooting games are there. They're freaking amazing. Oh, there you were too.
Yeah.
Same reason, you know?
Well, if there's any sort of like one, if anything PS4 has over the 360 for the generation, PS4 probably has stronger first-party output.
Oh, 100%.
Than the
Yeah, to be real, I didn't really connect with the first party. I didn't really. I played Gears 1. I didn't really play Gears 2. I did not connect that much.
Yeah.
I did not connect that much with the Xbox first party, like all that much.
Oh yeah, well, what about the Kinect?
That is
You should have used
joke.
The Connect.
But I think
close.
we have to give Xbox 360 way more credit because we are forgetting something. It is called Xbox Live Arcade. It literally started like indie games, like the ability for you to develop indie games and
get it to a massive
and get it to a bunch of people
Yeah, it
without
was-
it being super expensive. With you creating your price, it like start the fucking foundation of that even existing. You know that we can actually take older games and sort of like put them in small packages here.
I feel like a lot of the games on NES and Super Nintendo, the throwaway games, were like a bunch of just indie games made by like random developers.
Yeah, they were published. They went through the process. The whole
Right,
point was
right.
that they circumvented that process for Xbox 360.
Right, and they allowed people to just make.
It's allowed people to do shit like
But you know what?
Castle Crashers, Marvel
Didn't-
2,
didn't-
Bionic Commando.
Right? Didn't PC start that though?
Steam?
Yeah, Steam was like way before that.
What are we arguing here?
We're arguing like the ability for you to publish games easily.
Easily. Yeah, who was the first
different
one
and
to
easily
really...
like Indie Revolution? This was PC was not.
Technically PC. 'Cause
Technically?
you don't need a publisher on PC. You could just put your game.
port it right
You would
on
have to, but you would have to.
You literally
would
could-
have to do physical distribution. There was no like.
Well, I mean, you could host it on like
Yes.
a server of your
So,
own.
but again,
and
like-
make people go to a website you made and pay you.
Chat
to,
at,
like,
around the mid 2000s was Steam. I don't remember Steam being readily available and having like the access to a whole bunch of games around that time frame. I don't remember it being nearly as big.
Somebody said Steam was 2003, Xbox was 2006.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Steam was like, look, Steam was definitely around that time frame and shit. But I don't remember it being like a reliable service that you
hub,
could really
you know?
trust.
Yeah, like
and
the
everyone.
go-to, yeah.
It wasn't that yet. It seemed like the Xbox was more of that.
Well, I don't know.
See, but it was there, yeah.
I don't know if Steam had any weird restrictions on like indie titles.
But so around that time frame, most PC games you bought them still.
Yeah.
Like in the XBLA era when that shit was beginning, we're talking like the mid 2000s, right?
Dude, you would go to,
still
like,
had to go to a
Best
Walmart
Buy
to
or-
buy
but yeah,
a
and you get a
Diablo
CD, a
expansion.
fucking solid
You had to go
CD,
buy
yeah.
the orange box in a box.
Yeah.
You know,
That was
you had to do that. Xbox was like, so what if we like severely cut down the distribution of games and make it so that you don't have to go to giant corporations to make physical
I
games?
thought Xbox Live Arcade started on Xbox. I thought it started.
Xbox One?
Yeah, I thought it started
OG
there.
Xbox.
OG. I thought
That I have no
I
recollection
thought it
of.
started there, like right at the end of the system's life.
I have
The
no
demo discs.
recollection of that happening.
Yeah.
If it was, it must have been at the very tail end, and they just carried it
Yeah,
over.
it did. It did start on the original. Yeah, it started on the original.
What
Xbox.
games were on it? Like
Not much.
anything worthwhile?
No.
Well, I mean,
None of those games
so
were
the
worthwhile.
era I'm thinking about on 360 that's like super valuable for like the future of digital distribution of games and just like we can make games cheaper without because we're spending so much money making something.
Oh,
right?
Fusion Frenzy was like a big one, and we played the shit out of that game.
Nah, that was a box copy.
That was a box copy. Castle Crashers, freaking HD Remix. Castle Crashers, HD
That
Remix.
was on there?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, on Xbox Live Arcade.
HD Remix.
I only played on PlayStation.
Yeah, it was way better on. I had them both. It was way better on 360. Limbo, you know, Bionic Commando Rearmed, the friggin' the what's it called? The goddamn game from the Gears guy. That was a big deal. It was like a 2D Contra.
Oh, Shadow Complex.
Yeah, Shadow Complex. It was like a Metroidvania or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
Like Metroidvania started to exist again.
Yeah.
Mega Man 9. They could bring like that was because of mostly what the Xbox had like kind of set up around that time frame. And then eventually the PlayStation like caught on and the PS Store started doing that stuff. It's like the Xbox started that shit. You know what I mean?
Right, because they were all in on their online initiative.
Yes.
Where, I mean, they had online on PS2, but like Sony was kind of like, we're gonna have it. We're just not really gonna like push it.
Yeah.
Until PS3.
And again, we don't really get that because again on PS3 it was there, but using those things fucking sucked. Like using the store and stuff like that were never like functional and easy. It always was cumbersome. So to me, it's like eventually, yes, the 360 sets up everything for the PS4 to be, because the PS4 is essentially just an Xbox 360 made by Sony.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why everyone gravitated. That's why everybody went from that system to this system, because, well, we didn't have much of a choice. Not everybody was all in on KI.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 11. Yeah, SOCOM 2.
Oh, there were online games on PS2. We're talking about like the initiative of like having indie titles. You know,
Right,
having,
on the
like
system itself.
pushing the shit out of online features.
Gamer score. Okay, so the reason that we're not specifically talking about gamer score and achievements and shit is because I didn't give a fuck. I never have given a fuck.
Never.
The gamer score thing is something that has never been intriguing to us. Maybe for like a brief moment. You
What
know,
was it called? Yeah, it was just achievements. It was just,
it was having a score that you've done all these things in games, right?
Yeah.
So, but that is a key foundational element for all video games now.
A lot of
on
people-
Steam, on Xbox, on PlayStation, on Switch, like every aspect of games is about giving you some sort of redeeming quality that you did this in a
So
game.
I gotta start, like, when I was working at Activision, I had a guy who was smug about that shit, and he would make it seem like you're not a real gamer if you didn't actually 100% a game. Because you never experienced everything about it at the whole thing.
Kenny, we're 5 and 6. We've literally been talking for a long time.
All right.
5 and 6 are Xbox 360 and PS4. We don't know where they go.
Yeah,
We are arguing right now.
The elitist mindset of some people that actually.
Oh yeah, their gamer score is elite.
Yeah, like you
Xbox
think, hey,
360 6,
I played this fucking game for
PS4
real. You didn't.
5.
And I don't hate that.
The chuds,
do that.
yes.
Because to be
It was
honest, I
fucking
feel
hilarious.
like a lot of
Put me on speaker, but I'll do the rest. But I see that easy. 360 is a banger, but the PS4, we're still playing that today. We're still
This
playing the
is true.
PS4 today.
we're still playing
Even with
PS4
this-
games right now.
Right now.
Like every game is still a fucking PS4 game right now. To be real, like it's not that much different.
Yep.
Yeah. Spider-Man, FF7 remake, fucking Bloodborne, God of War, like
Yeah.
Ain't going nowhere, bro.
this arguably might have some of the best first-party games I've ever seen.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like the
Ever.
first party and single player output on that was phenomenal.
It's fucking
And there was
crazy,
some great
dude.
there was some great stuff on 360. There was, but I don't know if the first party single player output on 360 can really compare to the PS4.
Yeah.
It ain't going nowhere.
And because we agree. We have to agree that there was phenomenal multiplayer experiences online between 360 and PS4. There were.
Yeah.
But what 360 has some of that PS4 has a lot of is great single player first party stuff.
Yeah,
That
I agree.
360 doesn't have as much of.
Yeah, 360 was extremely multiplayer focused. Like, if we could pretty much blame the Xbox 360 that a big multiplayer competitive mode had to be added to everything.
Yeah.
You know?
So-
and not all of it was actually good.
So, as far as the Dreamcast is concerned,
We're not talking about Dreamcast right now because we're at 5 and 6. This is obviously PS4 360, bro. Let's finish this first.
okay.
Because we don't think Dreamcast is going there. Do we?
Not in 5 and 6, hell no. So Kenny says 360 at 6. I'm fine with 360 at 6. Steve, where should 360 go? 5 or 6?
I'm okay with 360 at 6.
All right, let's just do it then.
Yeah.
over PS4.
Over, 360 goes under PS4.
Yeah.
PS4 we think beats it a little bit because of likely the best first party lineup in
It's like you guys.
video game fucking history.
It's like you guys said. It was the answer to Xbox 360.
Yes, and it was like kind of like the answer in full execution of what the 360
this
could
is
be.
what competition does. It gives you
Yes!
an idea of what you're supposed
Exactly.
to do when you want to.
We are currently going through another PS3 era of like weird Sony arrogance and shit. We're getting out of it again, which is nice because they fucking got hammered. So we're getting out of it right now.
I think the PS5 Pro is another arrogance.
Well, that was again that was made 3 fucking years ago.
PS5 Pro?
Yes, it was designed and made for the past like 3 years. It just came out.
Yeah, it just
so
came
again,
out.
it was in that initiative of that time frame that they're being arrogant and whatever the fuck. You're gonna just lick our shit, bitches. like that's what they've been like under the Jim Ryan era, dude. You're just gonna eat shit and everything's gonna be gas and to put a PS5 Pro right up your ass. It's gonna be $800. Nobody gives a fuck. We're not there anymore. But we're in a healing period.
So then why are we still fucking with the Xbox, the PlayStation 5 Pro then? Why is it still a thing if we're out of it? We're in it now.
No, well, because they did it. No,
Yeah.
because
It exists. You
it
gotta
came
do
out.
it.
Things don't just get made immediately.
I get that. I
Yeah.
totally get that.
But it was being designed and created, and they can't just drop it.
Right.
It was being designed and created during the idea that everyone's just going to eat this shit up.
Right. I think the era only ends when they bring out a product that doesn't do that. Because the product is out now, so we're still in that era. That's how I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the era of arrogance is now because PlayStation 5 Pro just got fucking released.
No. The era of arrogance was that.
I'm going to make 12 fucking live service games at once, because
So
that's a good idea.
That and there hasn't been that many system's been out for 5 fucking. We're getting towards the end.
Yeah.
There hasn't been that many really big like first party games. Exclusive compared to the
First
PS4,
party.
nowhere close.
You have Returnal, you have Spider-Man 2, you have Demon's Souls.
God of War
remake.
Ragnarok.
No, that's on PS4.
Fuck me, Shaw, shut the fuck up.
Damn.
Both God of War Ragnarok and Horizon 2 are on PS4.
Yeah,
I was
you're
gonna
right.
say-
There's still PS4 games.
I was gonna say they released fucking Concord, which was a fucking
No, they might as well not have. That game literally existed for 10 days.
yeah.
10
Because
days.
we don't even
Because they
acknowledge it.
They realized how fucking bad their arrogance era was.
PS5 era is a bit of a. This era of general console gaming in general is a pretty big fucking downer. It ain't
Yeah.
making anybody's top 10s. If it is, I don't
And
understand their thought
didn't they just
process.
do it again with another game? They just released a fucking another game that looked exactly like fucking Concord, and it was shit. It got fucking destroyed
No,
online.
you're talking about the new Bungie thing that they just.
Is it? Yeah, Bungie.
The
Bungie.
new-
But it was
you're talking
PS4.
about- no.
No?
Is it? I don't.
Yeah, I think
all I saw
so.
was the cinematic.
Marathon is
Marathon. There
It's a
you go.
PS5 game.
Marathon's PS5 and Xbox and PC.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's on Xbox.
Good luck for them.
Oh shit. Really?
Yes,
Good luck.
That's so crazy.
and PC.
That Sony's going multiplat.
Well, they kind
don't know.
of they said they would because
For Bungie.
Jesus. Okay.
well, it's live service. You're not gonna you want to make that live service work. You better get some fish in every ocean.
Yeah. All right.
So-
I love that cinematic, but that's all I really know about it. That's all I really know about it. Anyway, I think we're sort of good on this conversation. I think we could put 360 at number
Where's
6
the
and
blue
PS4 at number.
I have
blue. Kenny probably took
I have
it.
a red one.
I have a black one.
Whatever.
This is black one. That's fine.
Yeah.
Kenny has it on.
Don't.
I don't see the blue one
You
anyway.
might have the other one.
Yeah. This is black one.
You might have the other one. Okay. Well, we'll butt dial Kenny.
Yeah.
I found a blue.
Found it.
All right, sweet.
Okay.
Xbox 360, X360, PS4. Somehow I subconsciously ate your dick.
What? Subconsciously. All right.
Jagged penis.
PS4 is crossed out. Damn, we're in top 4. Damn, bro. And Saturn's gone. Damn, we're down to PS1, PS2, Super Nintendo, and Dreamcast. PS1, PS2, Super Nintendo,
Let me
Dreamcast.
ask you this, regardless of where, just don't even think about the placement. I'm not talking about the placement.
Okay.
I'm saying strictly one-on-one. What do you think between PS2 and PS1? PS1 and versus PS2.
Oh, which one's better?
Yeah.
Oh, Stevens. Okay.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yeah, you.
PS2.
So you're just like, regardless of rank, PS2 is better than PS1.
100%.
Yeah, I'm
Like
dialing
regardless
Kenny.
of not because it's always backwards compatible. Let me just the library of each.
Library games, the games that are the first party games that are on there.
Are you able to talk?
Yes.
All right. Is the window down?
This car is always loud.
Okay. We are we put PlayStation 4 at number 5 and the Xbox 360 at number 6. So we agreed with you. What we have remaining is the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, the Super Nintendo, and the Dreamcast.
That's fucking tough.
It's fucking tough. And we're listening to Steve Delegate right now. We're talking about like where we feel the PS1 and PS2, which we're feeling like we're
I heard that.
do you feel the PS? Go ahead.
It's a tough choice between PS2 and PS1. I don't know which should go over which.
All right.
To be honest.
So
I don't know which should go over
Steve,
which.
what do you think?
There is no delegation, Kenny. I am right.
Well, what do you doesn't know what you feel?
PS2 over PS1.
All right, Simmons, what do you feel?
PS1 over PS2.
What the fuck?
And I also think PS1 over PS2.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Fucking out of their minds!
I know it's a lot.
Jesus
it's
Christ!
It's a lot to take in. So Kenny, we're gonna.
Jesus.
We're,
I can almost agree. I'm like, it's so tough for me to choose. But there's just like Resident Evil, the PlayStation is the first. Just
He already said it. No take backsies.
you know what? I think I put PS1.
okay.
There's some of the best games in the
I am
entire
so
world.
done with these fucking. These are so ass. This is by far the worst fucking. Look at this. Look at this, chat. The chat is already pissed off that 360 didn't even make top 5. You know, now I'm with you, chat. Now I'm with you. Look at these guys. Do they even
All
know
right,
what they're
we'll call you
talking
back,
about?
Kenny.
Do they even know what they're talking about?
I'll call you back.
No justice for Steve. Hashtag Steve is right. Hashtag justice for Steve. What is going on? What is going on? Everything.
All right, so let's
Everything.
The three of us agree PS1.
Right. Okay. So we're just delegating.
What?
We're sort of okay. So just to speak loudly.
Oh, I'm speaking loudly.
We know.
Yeah. Okay, speaking loudly. The SNES is better than both these systems.
The SNES? Yeah, because
Generally,
That was my next question.
But-
Yes.
Before we even got to that,
just
I'll-
throwing it out.
Just because of the catalog. I think the catalog on SNES and the games are so, what's the word? I want to say iconic, but memorable. And I don't want to even go off of nostalgia. I just want to go off of playability.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think SNES.
I agree.
I think Super NES games in general, and I'm talking about like, dude, we can like boom, 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 like just start naming names and shit like that. You can't really do that at the extent with some of the other consoles, but
This is close no matter what. This is close no matter what. Because all-time greats are on PS2, all-time greats are on SNES.
yeah.
But like, I feel like SNES, to me, the all-time greats on SNES don't have asterisks next to them. What I mean by that is like, some of the all-time greats on PS2, like Shadow of the Colossus,
No, can't use that argument.
wait, I'm just saying, no. My argument here is Shadow of the Colossus runs like butt
Yes.
on PS2. I'm not using sales. I'm not using sales.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about being available on other systems. That's unfair to the PS2.
No. I'm saying the PS2 Shadow of the Colossus is one of the greatest games ever. It runs a little bit. It runs like ass. Like not even a little. It runs like ass, right? And you still have like wonky, janky stuff even in the GTA games where like Chrono Trigger. There's never a moment where you're like, oh, well, Chrono Trigger doesn't run as well as it could because the system is just dying putting this shit out. I am splitting hairs here, I understand, but I'm just saying like the all-time classics on SNES, they don't have any sort of like, well, yeah, it sometimes dips to 15 frames or 20 frames or whatever. Like granted, I am well aware of slowdown on Super NES, especially for some of the shmups, but like, you just don't have like the timelessness of SNES also comes from the fact that these games, the best ones run kind of flawlessly no matter what.
Yeah.
And you can't quite say that about a lot of PS2 all-time greats. So there's a little bit of my argument for SNES over PS2.
That is me right there, chat. That is me right there, chat. Hashtag free Steve. Hashtag justice for Steve. Hashtag Steve is right. Hashtag. I can't do it anymore. I can't even have a fucking conversation with these guys. I get shot down every fucking time. I can't even. There's no delegation anymore, chat.
Steve.
What is a democracy? There's no fucking democracy.
I just get reamed in the ass. I'm gonna get reamed. There's no democracy there. How do you get democracy by getting reamed in the ass? Somebody explain the democracy in that.
You're an American. You should understand this very well
That's exactly what's happening right now.
You should understand this
The fuck is going on?
well
I can't
right
even
now.
do anything.
Ow.
I've lost every fucking system that I wanted on here. 360 is not even top 5.
You actually like 360 over PS4?
I'm a little surprised by
I'm not
that.
surprised by that. I'm actually surprised by that.
I am a little
Why?
surprised.
Just because the chat said it?
Stop talking to me. No.
No, tell me why.
No, talking to me.
I want to know.
No, I'm not gonna.
Why do you think, dude, I was like the Xbox 360 guy. Why do you think it over PS4?
I know it should be up there. I'm just delegating with the chat. Yeah, no.
You're trying to take some sides.
Yeah, they're all got my side.
They don't have any sway.
Damn.
Just like the Game Awards, they don't have any
so
sway.
chat, this is exactly the Game Awards. When you vote for your favorite shit, your influence is actually about like 5 to 10%.
Jesus.
That's about what it is. But the greater influence and the powers that be hold on to the 90% power of the delegation, just like the Game Awards.
New dude, Justice for Steve. I like that guy. Yeah, he subscribed to your chat.
He did,
said,
thank you.
No, that's a
Is
real
it Justice
person.
for Steve the name?
Yeah, that Justice for Steve is the name. You know what? I think that guy.
Damn.
That guy. No, he's.
That was a gift sub.
No,
to a
gift
dude
sub.
named Justice for Steve.
And that guy's been here for years.
Maybe.
He's been in this chat for years. That was a solid gift sub.
360 is top 3. I can see an argument why that would
Sure.
be the case.
Sure.
I can see that
The
argument.
thing is-
I can see the argument that would be the case if you're 30 to 35 years old.
Honestly, I see an argument for everything here except maybe
Damn, you said
Saturn.
you guys are young.
Like I think you guys
guys
did
are
the Switch a
babies.
little dirty, but like top 3, any one of these systems I could see being top 3.
Hey man, Simmons, I think we got to realize our situation with,
The situation is you guys just don't play Switch. That's the situation.
I think the fact that Saturn is even up here makes me happy.
Me too.
Because Saturn is the only, there's only one, in the top 15 of this entire situation, there was only one niche system. Only one, and it was Saturn.
Simmons, Switch was like graphically inferior to the other fucking systems out
Sure,
there.
but it was never trying to compete with them.
Yes, they always say that. They always say that, and you know damn well that's a lie.
Okay, in 2017,
that's a lie.
in 2017, when the entire system, the entire guts of the system are in this little pancake, you can take away the Joy-Cons, just this little rectangle here. Everything is in here. Everything. So you can't sit here and whine about the graphics on this potato when it's in this little tiny square and you had that whole giant dry erase marker of a PS4.
And whose fault was that? Why would they release
Whose
something?
fault? The 150 million selling system?
Oh, he went to
Whose
sales.
fault is that?
He went to flag on the play. Flag on the play. You went to sales, sir.
Why is that a fault? They made a conscious decision to hybridize.
Yellow card. I'm pulling the yellow card.
There we go. I was with you. I was
We're pulling the yellow card.
let anger consume him.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
funny. It's funny how you just let Kenny just do that last time.
Where?
I get the yellow card.
Where?
Last Switch when he just was
But
screaming
that's-
about Michael Jackson.
That's no. Well, we didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with him
He
because
said
of
sales.
that
He
reason.
said sales.
Dude, do you want to watch it again? Do you remember his whole rant with Michael Jackson and Gran
I don't.
Turismo?
I don't think any of us agreed with him because of that reason.
Yeah.
That was Kenny's reason.
Yeah.
That wasn't like, oh, that's it, MJ. like it's fucking Jover. So Kenny said PS1 over. I think we're just doing it. So anyway, hold on a second. This is our moment for these systems. We haven't had a chance to fucking talk about this shit. It's the fucking PS2. It has like everything.
Thank you.
It's the best-selling system of all time. It literally has everything.
For now.
Well, yeah.
In a
but-
year, it'll be the Switch.
You know, don't get me wrong. Like the issue is that is a non-issue here that we can't really use as a delegation. We have to judge it for its time.
Right.
And when it came out, first DVD player, fucking legendary. First time where like true market mass system where
Yeah.
like so many people are playing this shit. There's just the GTA explosion. You
Right,
know.
but you said you'd put PS1 over 2. I said it. Kenny said it.
I know, no, don't get me wrong. We're glazing both the systems right now.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing it for it being above. I think PS1's going number 3.
Dude, why the fuck are you saying that if you're not gonna fucking argue? Because everything you say makes so much goddamn sense that it should be above fucking PS1. Doesn't that make sense? That all the stuff that you're glazing, you're slurping it up, Max. That fucking donut is fucking drenched in all the saliva that you're pouring on top of it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Because
it doesn't make sense that PS1 fucking trumps fucking PS2 when it literally has the best library of all goddamn time.
That's why I
That is
disagree.
fucking crazy because
I legit disagree.
And that's what we both disagree.
I think pound for pound, like the PS2 just has a billion games on it. It has a billion.
It has a billion games and a ton of good games.
A ton of really good games and a ton of crazy niche games. It has all that stuff. But like to me, like pound for pound in terms of what the PS1 was offering in comparison to the time, it was like, I don't know, man. The fucking PS1, dude.
Metal Gear Solid 1 over 2. Heck, I mean 3 you can make an argument. You can argue 3 and 1.
Yeah.
That's an argument, right?
This is
But
the craziest
Final
thing I've
Fantasy was significantly better on the PS1 than it was on the PS2.
No, I'm not even thinking of FF7 chat. Actually, I have not thought of that yet. Wow.
And I just brought it up. Resident Evil was significantly better on PS1 than it was on PS2.
Yeah.
Mega Man games were significantly better on PS1 than they were on PS2.
Yeah.
Like,
Chat, I'm not even arguing.
I think Sony's first party was better on PS1 than PS2. I'm not shitting.
Yeah,
like
I
think
agree.
some things were amazing on
I
PS2.
agree. There were
God of
some
War
really
is
good
amazing on PS2.
Yeah.
That's like I think God of War and like Shadow of the Colossus are the biggest exemplary ones.
Yeah,
Just like holy
for sure.
fuck. But dude, like Sony first party on PS1 was fucking nuts. Mm-hmm. Like they came out swinging. They got everybody on their side and shit.
there was just better RPGs. There were just so many better
I agree,
RPGs
straight
on
up. Like if we're
PS1.
talking about the JRPG era and shit, it's just better.
It's
on
just better on
PlayStation
PS1 than PS2. Straight up.
All right, let's bring Kenny in.
My God, this is the most hilarious fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even arguing for PS2 to be number 3 or number 4.
We haven't even gotten to rank yet.
I agree. That's why I put the PS1 over the PS2. You guys were hitting 100%.
Kenny, you got to get back here. Steve's pissed, bro. He's gonna start fucking fighting us.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's gonna start fighting us, dude. Like,
I'm going to turn around.
all right, yeah, you gotta turn around. Just do a UE on the freeway. Just jump over one of the edges. GTA it, you know.
It's a really low.
All right, Simmons,
The other side is easy.
do it. Write it in.
Oh, are we ranking them? Oh, see.
I think it's happening. I think number 4 is PS2.
Damn.
Yeah, and number 3 is PS1.
Damn.
So, Kenny, that leaves us with the top 1 and top 2 games.
Why do I even bother?
The top 2 systems. We all agreed that, and I'm curious your thoughts on this. In your head, Kenny,
Look at
the super Steve, don't look at the chat.
Look at my people. Look at my people. Look how enraged they are.
Let's talk to Kenny. Kenny, we had this other talk right before about the Super Nintendo. Would you put the Super Nintendo over the PS1 and PS2?
I can't do anything.
I would put PS1 over Super Nintendo.
Interesting. Okay. Steve, where do you feel on that?
He already said Super Nintendo over PS2.
Steve said Super Nintendo
Over
the
PS2.
Chrono Trigger Street Fighter aspect is pretty good.
I already talked about it. I'm Super NES.
No, Steve.
No.
Is Super NES over PS1?
Well, yes, because he thinks it's PS2 over PS1. Steve's ranking is PS1, PS2, SNES.
Oh my God.
Kenny.
Just cut my balls off. You know what? I cut my balls off over PS1 and PS2. Do that. Cut my balls off over Dreamcast, Super NES, PS1 and PS2. Let's do that in order. Let's make that a chart. Put that on there. Cut it right off.
Snip, snip.
Chop it right off. That'll make more sense.
So, Steve, is there...
Dreamcast is up there.
Okay, so wait a minute. Let's just say, Kenny, is Super Nintendo at number 2 above PS1? Does that feel awful to you? Is that worth arguing?
PS1's bangers are some of the world's greatest games, still to this day.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
SNES.
I would say over SNES. Like SNES has some, Street Fighter and a lot of, it was the arcade at your house, but the bangers of PS1 are uncontrollable. There's like
Uncontrollable, but yet you call that over PS2 games, the most memorable games of all time, over PS1.
The most memorable PlayStation games are on PlayStation 1. That's not even a thing. Like PS2 has so many games. Yes, so many like great games, but PS1 has some of the most iconic games of all time.
And that's where me and Max kind of fell.
That's where we fell, yeah.
Pound for pound, like you said, a PlayStation 2 catalog would rip PlayStation 1 to shreds. It is.
Yeah, sure, the catalog, but it's like a buffet. It's a really good buffet versus some of the best 5-course meals in history.
The PlayStation 2.
I get what you're saying.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what he's saying, but
PlayStation 2 is like the most expensive buffet in Vegas. But PS1 has 10 of the best restaurants.
with that being said, we're at the point where we know why these systems are at top 4, top 3, top 5, right? We know.
Yes.
So I have the most important question, since we are at this point in our existence as friends. We're trying to piss as many people off as we can right now. Kenny, on the count of 3, the number 1 video game system of all time. 1, 2, 3. Dreamcast.
Yes. He said it. Dreamcast.
He said it.
He said it
I
with a
said
question mark.
Dreamcast.
He said it as a question.
Tenny, did you say that? Did you say that Dreamcast?
Yeah, you said Dreamcast.
Or was it Dreamcast?
As a question. That was negligible.
Was it Dreamcast or Dreamcast
That was a very
or a
question.
Dreamcast? Like which one?
Hey, look, the Dreamcast is probably one of my favorite systems.
Done.
Shut up, Simmons.
Done.
Kenny,
I don't know if I can put it at number 1.
Thank you.
So
I love it.
Would
It's
you-
got Power Stone 2. It's got Marvel 2. It's got CDS 2.
So I have another question then.
Soul Calibur.
Is Super Nintendo over Dreamcast?
Dreamcast over Super Nintendo.
Okay. Interesting. Then I have another question for you. Is Dreamcast over PS1?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't fucking know? You gotta know.
No.
This is the end,
I
dude.
don't think so. No, it's not.
Wow. Okay. Is Dreamcast over well, Dreamcast is definitely over PS2. So Kenny, we just agreed.
Yes.
We just agreed.
Yes.
Because the last 2 spots are number 1 and 2 for Super Nintendo
Yes.
and Dreamcast, and we're saying Dreamcast, Super Nintendo. Dreamcast number 1, Super Nintendo number 2. Right, Steve?
Shut up, Max.
I would put Dreamcast over Super Nintendo.
All right, Kenny. I love you, bro. We'll see you next time.
Wow.
Have a good weekend.
Wow.
Thank you.
There's
The most rigged
I just got
fucking top
word.
10 chat.
All the other countries.
Look at the democracy chat.
all the countries are celebrating right now.
Look
They're
at the-
celebrating. The
this is-
celebrations have begun.
This is America chat.
Fireworks in
There's
Luxembourg.
Look at
is there
America.
fireworks where you're at right now?
Look at the America.
Are they
right
celebrating?
now. Yeah, look at this.
All right. Here we go. All right, I'm getting messages
I'm
that,
just as
that people are taking to the streets.
Yeah.
The Dreamcast is getting the recognition
Yeah, they're
it
taking the
deserves.
streets all right.
And,
This motherfucker
and we all know it's
manipulated
true.
this the
Yeah.
whole time.
Dreamcast is getting
And I let him.
All right, bye, Kenny. We love you, bro.
Bias.
Bye-bye.
Horrible fucking bias. Look
Bye-bye,
at this.
Kenny.
Look at this. Horrible fucking. Yo, they tore down my games. They manipulated
So I
the
knew
whole
Max.
fucking
I knew
system.
Max was being intentionally quiet on Dreamcast
They
all the way
manipulated
until the very
system.
end. Ah!
My man over here.
And I let
Touch
him
me.
do it.
No, you
I let him
Get your
do it.
fucking hands off me. Get your fucking hands off me.
See, bro,
Get your fucking hands off me. Get your no.
Let's go.
Get away from me.
He's gonna give me a hug.
Get away from me. Get the hell away from me.
He's happy. He's actually happy. Bro, let's hug it out. It's cool, dude. We did it, Chad. We did it, the Dreamcast.
I knew what he was up to.
one system.
I knew what he was doing like at the start of this, and I'm like, he's gonna not mention this.
Let's fucking go. out.
Which is why I was a little butthurt
No,
when
because
he
it's true.
When he went in and fucked over the Switch.
What fucked over the Switch? What?
Remember when we were debating
impossible.
between NES and Game Boy?
That's not
and then
true
you're
at
like, he
all.
hasn't said anything about Switch in a while. Let's get rid of Switch. And I was like, man, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't want to oust the fact that I know he's playing politics to get the Dreamcast.
What are you talking about? It is the dream. Simmons PSO.
But I know. But here's the thing.
Skies of
I agree. Again, if you've been following the YoVideogames podcast, you know I've already said this.
Simmons,
you know my top 5 was already Dreamcast number 1.
You wouldn't even
so I was already like, I know what he's doing. I'm gonna let him do it.
You wouldn't even love the Church of Xeno shits if it wasn't for Skies of Arcadia. It taught you to love.
Well, that and Skyward Sword disappointing me so goddamn hard.
It taught you to love. It taught you that there's love in that heart. That you can find ways to love
True,
again.
I didn't love exploring in an RPG anywhere near as hard after Skies until Xenoblade, so...
Yeah?
So
I
I
agree
knew
with
what he
that.
was up to.
What do you mean? It's the goddamn Dreamcast, my dude.
I knew what he was up to the whole time.
It's the goddamn Dreamcast,
And I'm like,
bro.
I'm letting him
There's
do
no
it.
way.
I'm letting him do it because I want to see this happen.
What do you mean?
I want to see this happen.
It's literally the best system.
Yes.
I know.
Yes. So, the thing is like, there's too many firsts on Dreamcast, which is okay. Like the actual reason why I agreed with this is it is the first time online gaming actually
mattered on the system.
Felt good. Like
Actually felt
worked
good. Actually functioned normally.
and gave me just great memories.
It was literally the first system that looked better than the best looking games in the arcade.
It was the best system to surf the internet
better
with
than the
for
arcade.
reasons. As a young boy, so it literally brought my this is relevant for this channel. This is the system that brought my love for fighting games back.
Yep.
They had sort of waned and drifted
Don't you
off.
love fighting games, Steve?
But it was this system that brought it back. There's too much. I have too much
Steve,
attachment.
That shirt is in bad taste now.
Anybody ask me anything about fighting games, consoles, or anything of the sort, this is what you can refer to. Don't ever ask me anything.
See if you can make a list. Make a
I do all the time.
personal list.
Don't ever ask me
a
again.
list of personality.
Because this is what happens.
Yes. When we all come together as friends,
When they ask
we
me.
discover things about each other.
This is what happens.
And we get more comfortable with each other. We learn a little
Never
bit
ask
about
me
what
again.
goes on the inside. What goes inside our hearts.
Never ask
And
me again.
what's inside our hearts came to the front
Do you
tonight.
see this fucking
Literally
abomination?
came to the front.
This is
It's in
Frankenstein's
front of
monster.
us. It's beautiful. It's like a
The
child.
ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Look at this.
My eyes are bleeding.
It's
Chad.
unbelievable. That's such a thing.
What is this abomination?
That
Chad?
such a thing could exist.
What is
I can't
happening?
believe it.
How did we
magic.
let this happen?
It's actually magic.
This right here, chat. Look at this face. This is all.
I
of us
drew
right
what
now.
you all feel.
This is all of us right
All
there,
right.
chat. This is what happened.
I don't want to feel.
I'm in a room with you lunatics.
I don't
who believe the fucking Dreamcast
Steve.
trumps that.
I
Tenfold. They put it at number 4, chat.
I think.
Number 4.
Steve, I truly
the
feel.
fuck is going on?
I truly feel. that
Please help me.
You should definitely connect to your own thoughts and feelings and not be manipulated by what people on
Type
the internet.
louder, chat.
I don't think
They're
so.
not hearing you.
I think.
Type fucking louder.
I think.
Why is this happening?
My friend Steve, his thoughts are what I want to hear, not the
fuck is
internet.
going on?
I love hearing Steve's thoughts on things. I don't want to literally the internet.
What the fuck is this? Look at it.
I'm just saying, dude.
What?
I'm just saying.
What?
You know?
Give me a proof with the Super PlayStation 1 top 3.
You said
This.
SNES was better than PS2.
You said SNES was better
You
than
said
PS2.
it.
You said it.
You said it and I agreed with it.
You said it.
You did.
You did say it.